Speaking. All right. No. How do I do this?
Do you want to tag the live link? Oh no, you're.
I'm gonna send a live link right now. YOLO. There you go. It works. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you guys right now. Yeah, he came back for more.
Get out of here.
See, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, buddy.
Any more?
Yeah.
No.
Also, some nuts?
Yo, my goal is I'm gonna start like a.
You want some nuts? Get some nuts. Yeah, go get that barbecue covered nuts.
I thought it was like candy. Right. Thank you, though.
He goes, never mind, thank you though. I like that kid,
Yo,
man.
dog, you have to be a grown up, man. You can't fall into this. Really, just grab the nuts.
Yo, guys. All right, chill, come on. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, so, I had a bit of the past 24 hours. I was kind of busy, so I wasn't able to put together class stuff, but I will afterwards. But the game plan for today is we're going to be learning about a build tool. So specifically, what we need to do now is this. As you guys might have noticed on your projects, the front end part probably sucked, right? Like sucked to build, sucked to keep track of all that. It's because whereas in Node.js, you can have a bunch of different files. You can do like require modules that export or module that exports. With the front end, you can't, right? And you have to like manually put everything inside the function closure and things like that. And that's a pain. And one of the best things that happened to JavaScript when Node came out was that people started to use tricks to apply the concepts that we learned in Node.js. So like not like a file system and shit like that, but things like how to break up code and all that. They started to apply that to the front end itself. And that's when shit got real, because now you can write really, really sophisticated large applications that are easy to read, easy to maintain, and they can just grow exponentially. So the plan for today and until like the next like week and a half or two is I want to talk through that. I want to talk about how we could re-architect some of the web pages that we built previously with this new technique in mind. And then I want us to go into the constructor pattern. So I know a lot of you have seen the new keyword being used, like new date maybe and shit like that, right? So we're going to learn how to build our own, which is important because that's a precursor to, or that's the last real concept we'll have to learn about JavaScript decoding language before we can jump into React. Okay, so the game plan is to end up at React. And just to give you a sense, it's April now, right? So, or almost May, so we got 2 months left. So in the next month I want to cover React, Flux, which is a way of thinking about how you should write the code for your front end, and really that's it. And then we're done, and we jump into like final projects for like the last like 3 weeks. Okay. And then if there's anything in particular that you guys want to go over, I can probably like put together a class or two on that. But then the other piece of it is that, so, we want to do React, we want to do Flux, we want to get really good with build tools and that kind of stuff. And if possible, I'd really like to squeeze in one more project, like a Slack clone or something. It'll actually be a lot easier than the Instagram one, and it'll probably be it won't be another group project unless you guys really want it to be. I think it's like good practice to do group projects, but I can see how like it is frustrating, especially since like if you're at a company like everyone's there from like like 9 to 5 or something, but here people don't. So like I know it's troublesome, but I'll leave that up to you. But if we could do that, I think that'd be really good. The other thing I wanted to say was I think after this is due, which is going to be on a Sunday, probably at midnight or something, I'll give you guys 2 weeks to get your incompletes in. like whatever that means. So if that means going ahead and just like, because it should be easy at this point, right? Like after this Instagram clone project, like everything else should be like a walk in the park. So I'll give you guys like maybe a week, and if you need a bit more, yeah, like the stuff that people had incompletes on, we'll go and get that out the door, and then we'll probably do a final Slack project, and then it's the final project, and we're done. Is that fair? Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, so I'll go through and I'll update that. Yeah, Ling, what's up?
Everybody that's hounding me about stuff,
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome, Rich. What up, Ling?
Can you give us requirements like early so we can start now?
Here, there's only one requirement, if you ask me. Don't make it suck. All right, like that, like seriously. So, like, what that means is you can use any kind of technology that we've covered or did not cover. I don't really care. I think it'll probably so the only thing is you'll need a front end and you'll need a back end. That's it. If you want to make a Slack bot, go ahead. Like make a Slack bot. If you want to make like an app that's specifically for phone, but it's like like whatever, go ahead and do it. I'm pretty sure I can figure out like whatever technology stack you guys are using. So if you want to explore, like I wouldn't say go and write a project in C++. That's fucking insane. But if you wanted to experiment with like Python a little bit, but like that's fine by me, or like Lua or Java even, it's cool.
I don't know how to help you with Python.
Yeah, what it was.
Will you be going over React Native?
No, but we'll have gone over React. If you wanted to build a React Native project, I'm all good for that. I would say one thing though, if you're gonna build a React Native project, I would say for your own sake, build the iOS version first for this class, because it's a bitch to get the Android stuff like going. And if you have a Windows, you can't actually do the iOS part. So if you have a Windows machine, don't do React Native. Sorry. Unless you can go ahead and like, if you start now and you like get the emulator to work, like I just can't, like I don't know how to help you on that. Whereas the iOS thing I do.
I know a really good resource that can help with that. I can ask someone to take it.
It'll be more like come to office hours. Yeah, I can probably ask like a coworker of mine too. But I would say that like if you're gonna do Android with React Native, I want to see the emulator and a small app going like before the final project time starts. So like after we learn React, it's gonna be like 2 weeks or within 2 or 3 weeks. If you can get that going, then I'm okay with it.
Like any technology.
Yeah, machine learning. Yeah, just go learn some multivariate calculus.
You have to approve their ideas, though, right? The final part of it.
Yeah, you should probably, if you guys want, I'll probably make you submit a project idea, like probably after you guys finish your incomplete stuff. So like not this Sunday or next Sunday, but the Sunday after, right? Which is gonna be 2 weeks into May. Okay. But the idea is just try to be, ambitious. It's the last time you're gonna have us. So like, even if you like bite off more than you could chew, we could probably help you like think through it at least, right?
Think about those presentations and kick their ass.
Right. That's the other thing. Like those were like, they were solid projects, but I don't think anyone really tried to push the envelope too much on that, with the exception of the guy who did the GIF stickers. I thought that was like a really cool project.
Yeah.
But like I think all the other ones were like fairly standard, or some looked really cool, but then like when they ask questions, they're like, oh, it's fake data. Like no. Like that's the other thing. It's got to work. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the other thing that's really important is it has to work. Like I don't want no like fake hard coded bullshit. Like we're not doing that. But I'm very confident that you guys will be able to pull that through. Obviously, I would just say just build something that you really want to build. All right, and we can come up with all the other stuff later. Does that help? All right, yeah.
Can some of us expect to have like a live working demo, like
all of you?
Oh, so like you could potentially get it up on like an app store or something. I mean, to that level.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, so here's the thing, like you're thinking about like iOS or something, right? So yeah, like we could aim for that. I would say at the very least, you should be able to like push it out to like friend and a family's like phone so they could test it on, which means it's basically there. Like it might not get approved by the App Store in time because it takes a week or two, but like I want it to be fully functional, something that I could pull out like my phone and show like a friend of mine, like, yo, take a look at what my student did or something. You know what I mean? I mean, ultimately, I just want to be able to brag to people. So that's what it's got to be. Like, seriously. Yeah, for sure. But if you guys want to start talking to me about it now, I'd be, just Slack me and I could start to give you ideas or like things like for you to research. The one thing is, after we decide, I don't want you to change it. Because like in my experience, like people who've done that have like just like you end up with like less time into your project and it just becomes a problem. Yeah. So
set up for some bullshit.
yeah, exactly. So like again, like 2 weeks into May is probably when I'll ask you guys to submit the project. So at that point, like once you've chosen, like that's it. I would say even if you're like, fuck, this is too hard or I'm not interested anymore, I would say just try to get it done. Okay. So yeah, think about it and just like remember what you know. And the whole point of this class is to kind of hopefully, right, learn how to think about stuff. So if it's something crazy that you never learned before, it should still be fine because you should theoretically be able to think it through, right? So, and you have us. Anyway, so with that in mind, let's go on to what I think the real important piece of this class is. I think here is when shit gets really important. I think part 1 of the class was like the fundamentals of coding, which is really important. I think part 2 of the class was, I think it's, what's up?
All that shit was fundamental.
No. Part 1 is right up until we started like Node.js. Yeah, that was like fundamental. And then from Node.js to what we did, I think it's good that you guys know it, but I honestly don't think it's super productive. But like now you know it, and no one can take that away from you, right? So like you have that ability. Because you learn just like the basics of, like, we never took a deep dive into any of the things that we covered, right? We did some basic SQL statements, like I did inner joins and shit like that, but that was it. We did some basic express, so we did a basic node, and it's important to know that, like, so I can see why it's important, I can see why like they wanted to do it. But I think the thing that's gonna get you guys a job, hopefully, is this, like React, being able to build shit quick. Yo, what up?
Can I put something into perspective? In my class, we didn't really spend a ton of time on Express either. Like, he covered way more shit on Express and Node than we did in my whole class. All they showed us was how to make the calls to your API. Once data comes back, handling everything in the front end. So what you know is plenty for you to, like, if you build it enough times.
But that being said,
solid grasp on it.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, I had no choice because it's like to get you to understand we had to do it that way. But like, if you go and apply for a back-end position, I feel like people are going to be like, I'm not really sure. You don't have enough experience, blah, 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 right? Whereas I think with this stuff, like, you can show some solid shit, and I hope at least you can have a good chance of like landing some sort of entry-level or internship kind of job. That being said, on Thursday, Crystal, the career services person, is going to come through, and she's going to have like office hours. So we'll probably do some sort of project. I'm probably going to ask you guys to take the GIF search engine that we built in the beginning of class and rebuild it with Babel. So, well, we'll do it in a bunch of phases. Like, first, I kind of want to show you how Babel makes things a lot easier, and then we'll solve it again with React, and we'll do it again with React and Flux. So, okay. So, with that being said, let's get started, right? The first thing is, if you go to talk.website, oh shit, and you click on the Babel link, I've got a starter repo that I put together for you. So we're gonna start off with Babel by just exploring what it is that it does, okay? So I think it'll be best if we just do it as a class. So I'm gonna just go through it, and I want you guys to kind of like tell me what's going on, okay? So I'll clone it, just like you guys. Talk.website, click on Babel, the bottom link. Cool?
Yeah, Talk, when we're done with the entire
I want
course,
to see it.
Talk.website, class notes.
And then go into the
what
menu.
you gonna do
and
with
then
Talk.website, all those NYCBA?
Well, so Talk.website will probably stick around because I'm teaching more, but all this content will also stick around, but it might be, yeah, like we got a guy on it, don't worry about it. I mean, hopefully you'll get your shit together and get it done soon, but
Website and just see what you're teaching.
yeah.
Get your shit.
Yo, if you guys wanna come in and sit in, I'm like not everyone all at once. But no, I can't do that. But like, if you guys want, just hit me up. Huh?
That shit on
A YouTube Live.
Yeah.
Nah, what's the name? Because of what you're talking about. That's why.
What?
Because of what you're talking about.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, maybe you should do like 1-day classes to like get deeper into stuff.
Oh, if you guys are willing to pay, I'm willing to teach, my friend. There you go. At a discount, obviously. Like bring a friend.
We'll bring you, John.
I'm not good at that shit anyway. I'm just joking. Huh?
We'll bring you, John.
There you go. All right. So, has everyone cloned this?
Yeah,
You guys know how to do that shit now, right? Just get cloned and whatnot.
The folder structure is a little different.
Yep, exactly. So we're gonna start off by talking about that. All right. God damn it.
Yo, what's favicon again? That's the little icon, right?
Yeah, the fave icon is this piece right here. Right here. All right, get clone. This we'll call it Babel example lecture 43. CD Babel example lecture 43. Okay, guys. So, well, no, like before we do that. So let's take a look at what we have here, right? So, like what I'm telling you right now is that we have a JavaScript project. Okay, I'm telling you off the bat, there is no backend code here at all. Everything is on the front end. And here is what our folder structure looks like. Now, does this look normal to you?
Yep. I mean, this looks like something we've been doing before.
Assets is different.
Okay, but like, what do you think asset stands for? Potentially. Images, right? Max? Okay.
Except
You got weird things like JavaScript.
We're not even there yet.
I don't think it looks abnormal.
It doesn't look abnormal at all because it's the stuff that we built prior to learning about Express, right? Like, do you remember, like, the first 2 months, right? There was always a JS folder for your JavaScript, CSS folder for your CSS, an images folder or an assets folder, and an index.html, right? We have the same exact thing as it stands. Now, let's go into index and see what that's all about, right? So now this looks fairly standard as well, right?
Yeah.
Right, we got a title. Oh, shit. We got some tags, fonts, and so forth. Now, what is this? Well, so first of all, the page is completely empty, right? We just have we have an idea of app, and we have a script that's pointing to what? A folder called JS, and inside of it, another folder, right? Called, and then inside of that, we have something called bundle, right? So let's go ahead and let's open this up into Sublime real quick. What's up? This is true. Who does? I guess I do. First version of the live class that knows use Sublime. So if we were to open up the JS, now this should look very different, right?
Yeah.
What's different about it? What do we typically expect in our front-end JavaScript folders? Usually a main.js, maybe an Ajax. Like I know, like some of you did like an Ajax.js to pull in like your puts and all that, right? Yeah. But that's it though, right? More or less. But here we got. Well, first of all, what do we have here? A package.json. So that's weird, isn't it? Because what is package.json for?
No.
Which is for backend, right? So here's where the things get interesting. So let me first kind of, and I think you guys already know, like, intimately appreciate this problem, right? And the problem here is that you have a bunch of functions that you want to run, and they might be run on different pages. Like I know basically all of you did like document.query selector login button. If login button is not equal to null, print, and then in there do login.add event listener. Now, why did you do that? Can you guys tell me what was the problem with not? If you didn't do that, what would happen? So if you had here, so let me show you guys. almost everyone had something like this, right? Const button.
Yeah, I probably
Exactly, right? Document dot like whatever, right? And you did like if button is not equal to null.
Is that?
yeah, I probably agree.
Yo, what's up?
I don't know. I read somewhere you automatically change it to
I mean, you're comparing, right? Like, is the value inside the button, which is an object, right? So if it's not null, then this will be treated as true or false, right? That's just how it's saying before. So in here, this code only runs if button exists, right? And we have to do that because, as Oz said, otherwise it throws an error. But where does that error get thrown? Does it get thrown on your login page?
No.
Where does it get thrown? Well, yeah, of course, but
index.
like an index or a sign up or a page where the button itself doesn't exist, right? But then why do we do that? What's the trouble with splitting up your JavaScript code into multiple files? What's the issue there? One, it'll probably load slower.
They have the button somewhere else. Mobile.
It might be global. Like you might want to share code, right? Like as you saw in your backend portion. So like I want you to start to think about like your front end code and your back end code as like two different apps that you built. And like we've always been treating them this way. We just haven't talked about it like explicitly, right? But your front end code and your back end code are two different beasts, right? And does your back end even know your front end exists? Like really, not really, except for that one call where you serve the static. The only way they communicate is through network requests, right? So like theoretically, your front end talking to your back end is like your GIF search engine making calls to the Jiffy API. You guys see that? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus only on our front end now, and we can just pretend the back end is just an API or some shit, right? And so if we're here, like, we have some really crazy problems to deal with. That if we could use the same techniques that the back end provides us with, like the required, would be like fucking easy as shit, right? So here's the question. I have like suppose we go back to the GIF search engine, right? And suppose we have two pages, right? We have one page which is search.html, and then one more page which is add gif.html. Okay. So you guys remember how we searched the Jiffy API? What call did we like? What kind of HTTP request did we do? Did we do a put, a post, a get, or a? We did a get, right? Why? Because we're trying to read their DB, right? So we did a get on this button. So you click this button and you get a get request. Now, if I wanted to do like a file, a file upload, there, boom, good shit, guys. Right now it seems easy as fuck, right? But we do a post request. So now this app, our GIF search engine app, will need two calls: a get call and a post call. Agreed? We'll need a add event listener on the button, right? It'll also need a key event on like key down enter on the search. Yeah, you guys. Yep. All fair? And then here it'll need like an on change, right, on the file. And then beyond that, it'll also have to do something like, okay, when you do a search, it has to like grab HTML, like convert it, and then show it here. Like the 3 rows of GIFs that we saw or something like that. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then here you might want to do like a little progress bar or something like that, right, as the file's loading. So the idea is you have one app, but you have all of these, like you'll need at least like 6 different functions, right? So if you were to build this, like suppose this was a backend app, right? Like imagine a world all this could be done on the backend, right? How would you separate it out? What would you do? Like different .js files, right? Just like you guys wrote like a users.js for your like users table on post.js, you might have like a search.js, which is specifically for the click event and the on key down event. You guys agree? Click event on key down event, right? Meanwhile, this page, so this will be like search.js, and this will be like upload.js, right? This one would have an on-change event. Agreed? But now, what would they try? Oh, and then of course, like this would have like a draw search results, maybe.
I think that's like a render.
Yeah, kind of like a render, right? But then this would have like a show progress, maybe. Yep. But they both do a get and a post request. So like, would they share something? Maybe a bunch of Ajax calls or something, like a get and a post could be shared, because like maybe in the future you might want to do a get here, right. or vice versa, right? You guys see that?
Files, are we saying?
What's up?
Yeah,
like this will be one file, this will be one more file, and then they would both share like an ajax.js file.
So CRUD.
Yeah, but like now on the front end. But so here in a perfect world, like we can have this. So instead of having like a 500-line main.js, we would instead have like maybe a 200-line s.js, maybe 150-line u.js, and like, you know, maybe not even a 100-line Ajax. What's up? Yeah, it was close. 450, whatever. All right, fine, buddy. 150, bro. There you go. 500. What up? But yeah, like fair. So now we could theoretically do this today, but it'd be problematic, right? Now I know you guys did the window dot like Ajax thing, right? So how did that work? And you guys fucked up a bit, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, it was my fault.
It doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, what was like annoying about it?
Randy fucked up because.
No, what was annoying
we
about it?
made two files, one with all the CRUD, and then the other separate file with the functions.
Right, which is kind of like that makes sense in my head. That seems like a reasonable approach. But what was the problem?
You forgot to return the.
Right, you forgot to return your function, and then like you're like, oh fuck, why don't I see it? It's empty, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't do that, what would be the problem? If you didn't like put it in the closure scope. You guys remember this? A closure to protect the landing stuff. It'd be global, and then the problem is if you ever load like a script somewhere else, or the user has like a Chrome extension, now you have a conflict, right? Which Chester is not here, but he had that same issue. He's like, why the fuck isn't it working? I'm like, well, you've got like 18 Chrome extensions that are interfering with your product. And you were staring at it for like an hour, right? So like you see the problem? Like the front end sucks is the idea. But so ideally we could do this, but we have those issues. And then beyond that is the fact that now every single page does 2 page calls, right? One for your Ajax, which is shared, and then one for search and one for you on each page, right? Now 2 page calls, like whatever, we can probably deal with it. But imagine if Facebook used this like rudimentary technique. They don't have 2, they have like 400, or maybe like 10,000. So imagine 10,000 page calls just to like load the first page. That's crazy, right? And so that is, and I hope this kind of shows you, that is the real problem, right? With the state of how JavaScript works, right? That we because we don't have a way to require stuff, we run into this issue where you either do a shit ton of network requests, or you have one file where globals get polluted and shit goes crazy. Now here's my next question. Why can't you require on the front end? What's wrong with that? Why can't you do it? What's up? But why can you do it on Node? Like I can do it on Node. Why the fuck can't I do it at the browser?
The engine. Some packages, it's not like unless you make the function itself, right? I would say.
So yeah, you're almost there. The main thing is that where is Node reading those packages from? From your Node modules folder, right? Which is what? A folder on your computer. So the browser can't read files on your computer, and if you're on the internet, where is it going to read it from? You see that? So that's the problem, right? The reason why requires work, and this is how every single package management system on the planet works. So not just Node, but Python or like PHP or Ruby. They all import from your file system, right? And they all have a way of saying, hey, like relative to this file, let me go up or down folders and grab the things like that I need, right? And the syntax might be different, but effectively that's how it works. But when you're doing front end and you're in the browser, you can't do that because one, if you allow the browsers to do that, people would steal all your shit. Like they just go and read all. Like if you could do that, like theoretically, I could write a Node.js script, and you guys could too probably, where you start at the root of your computer and you scan every single file on the that exists on the computer. It'll take a long time, but you got very clever with it, and you can steal shit, right? You can be like, oh, let me look for passwords or photos or like whatever, right? And now it's yours. So, the browser can't do that. But because the browser can't do that, you have no other way around it. So what people do is they install Node in their JS folders, and what they do is they add a build step in between the code that you write and the code that the browser sees. So the problem is that the code that you write, you want it to be in a whole bunch of different files, and you want to be able to require it, just like Node does. But the browser can't do that, so why not write a Node script that every time you save a file will re-bundle, hence the name dist. If you look here, like if you look at your index, it points to something called dist/ a bundle.js, and your bundle is basically a Node.js program that walks through all the requirements that you had on your project and puts it together into one file that you load. Does that concept make sense?
Yeah, so it's no longer on the back end. So the Node requirements are now all in one file on the front end.
Right. So you can like write it as if you have the same opportunities that you did on the back end, but now it works on the front end. It's actually really, really fucking smart. And I think this is what allowed for like Facebook to get as complex as it did. Because like I was around before this was a thing, and let me tell you, JavaScript sucks. It was all that, but like you guys had it for 500 lines. I had it for 50,000 lines. All right, and if something broke, like where the fuck did it go? Like, oh, someone like declared a variable at the top, and because it's in the scope, someone else used it, and now like shit's fucked.
Yo, you didn't have a childhood, man. We're the same age. How the fuck were you aware?
No, I was doing that, man. What else?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was the one thing only.
I didn't own a computer, or I wasn't even in the country when I was 5. But regardless, right? So that's what's like. It's crazy that you can do that because now we can just break shit up. So like this dream of ours is no longer a dream. It works. So I'm gonna first show you guys the results of this. Like we'll go ahead and just like see it in action, and then we'll take a look at and see what made this like magic work. Okay.
So every time
you save. Every time you save, it will. So you can configure it so that it's basically all it is just a Node.js script. So that's the first thing that you should know. There is no real magic. Like the way it works is pretty cool and like interesting, but all it is somewhere someone wrote a Node.js script that says, hey, fs.read file. Like effectively that, like it's still the same old shit, but it's just really cleverly done and all that kind of stuff, right? Just like jQuery is just objects and functions, but like smartly built, right? So,
this is the file that would be like crazy to read.
Yeah, here, why don't we open it? It won't be too crazy here, but
I mean, like I've seen it.
Which file?
Stuff you
The
can
bundle?
this bundle, yeah.
You can't read it.
It's hard to read, right?
Yeah.
Wait, am I in the right bundle JS?
Yeah.
Doesn't look crazy.
So every time you hit save, it
He's saying that this
puts
one's
it
not.
in front of that end. So every time.
Yeah. So here, like with NodeMon or with a supervisor, every time you save, what did it do? Restart the server, right? That's just a Node.js script that says, hey, if a file changes, reboot, like recall the express.start server. What's up? Yeah. So like this is basically the same exact thing, but now it's saying every time you save, don't restart a server. There is no server here. Instead, just walk through all the files and package them in the correct order and generate this bundle.js, which the front end will now refer to run your code. Making sense? Okay, so here's a question for you. Where's my terminal? That's not the question, but I genuinely wasn't sure. So let's cd into JS. and we have a package.json, right? How would we install this? npm install, right? Why? Boom. Let's say it doesn't matter what you're doing, or like if you have a package.json and there's no node modules folder, you gotta do npm install. So I'm gonna do it. I think you guys should too. Why does it have to be in the JS folder? That's what package.json is, exactly. There you go.
Yeah. I can't.
Yo, he sings opera. He's like the the guy's doing that. No, Figaro. No, that guy is like super low though. Yeah, he's doing falsetto. He's doing like the alto. Right, there you go. Yo, what was I gonna say?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
That's just said. Don't care about content. Content dookie. I was reading it.
All right. So boom, right? So one thing to note is that look how crazy this shit gets, right? Make sure you have your node modules and your get ignore. Otherwise, it's gonna take like 5 million hours to push this up and down. Okay. The other thing is like this is absolutely certifiably insane. Oh fuck! What version of NVM LS? What's that? Yeah.
Go into JavaScript.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not, I don't
Did you
have that
CD
one.
into JavaScript?
It's taking a long time. Just
Are you in the right direction?
Yeah, you gotta be in the JS folder. You see that? You're and then you gotta do npm. Right, and that's because Lisa, that's because you always do npm install on the inside the folder that has the package. Always.
Yo, did you guys see the requirements for the internship that Horatio put up?
No.
No. One of the requirements says, if you like work if like Paul, Andrew, and whoever argues. That's just hilarious. I took a screenshot. That's just really funny.
What?
Yeah. All right, we talk about later. So here, yeah, yo, maybe, guys, take a look at all the things that this thing installed. Like all the internet is in our folder right now. This is one of the reasons why people fucking hate JavaScript. This is insane. All right, but it doesn't matter. I mean, and let me tell you, the configuration that we're using is the most basic configuration I could find. Right? So, like, people who do some crazy shit with this. Yeah, what up, Max?
It's kind of like a library.
Yeah, so JavaScript does not have a standard library. This is the closest thing. Right, so what Max is asking is, like, because he's taken, like, C++ and Lua, I guess, right, is that most languages have a standard library which comes with the language. So, like, you don't have to do any of this shit. You can just be like, oh, import, like, you know, like URL parser or something, which is a Python thing. But JavaScript does not, because JavaScript started off as a language for the browser. So, like, there is no standard, like, library that ships with it. So we have to use NPM and things like that. That's just a good footnote. So what all this insanity does is it allows us to go ahead and watch our files and build it. So here, if you're wondering, right, if I said, hey, person in class, I want to build my files every time I save, what command do I run? What would you do? What's up? What the hell's build? So the question was, right? Like, here's all you know, right? Like, you just, like, I just threw this listing at you. You were able to correctly deduce that you need to do npm install because there's a package.json. I said, all right, great, you've installed it. Congrats. Like, suppose this is an interview, and then I ask you, how do you actually start this program that you installed? Node what? Where would I see that? Package.json. So you gotta say, if I ask you, yo, how do you know what to do next? You say, take a look at, is that what you meant? I know you did, but I was trying to get the actual words out of you. Right, go to package.json and see what scripts are available or something. Like that's always your first, like, solid next move to do. So let's go to package.json. All right, okay, I'm in package. Great. Now what? What's up?
Build, watch, test.
Yeah, like, Okay. What do these words mean? Like, why are you saying those words?
You made that.
Those scripts.
Well, because they're under scripts. Well, yeah, but don't say that in an interview. He's gonna be like, fuck you, bro. Like, of course, I made everything. But more importantly, right, it's because these are scripts and they point to what looks like command line or like terminal command, right?
Right.
So that, you know what I mean? Like, because like if you're at an interview, people are gonna try to like see, they're gonna want you to tell them how you're trying to reason about these problems. It's kind of annoying, but you got to just like talk out loud the whole time. And it might, even if it seems obvious, you should just go ahead and say it anyway. So yes, you know, obviously we do npm, run, watch, or build. Which do you think we should run, watch or build? If you wanted to update, boom, right? Just like with NodeMon or something, right? So, okay. There it is. npm, run, watch, right? What you always do for scripts. Because we did npm start, I think, is the only one that you don't have to. For all the other ones, you do npm run. And do you see what it did? It tells you, oh, hey, lol, I built some shit. Right. So it's working, I think. Here, how could I test and know for a fact that this watch is actually building? What could I do? Yeah, open what and save it though. What's up? Yeah, foobar or index, right? Yeah, good. So okay, source. Now, you know, if you take a look at this, I know, Randy, like you said, like it looks weird, right? It's a very different structure. Yeah. So the way this structure, and I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the best way. It's just a way of doing it. Hold on. Oh, you guys can't see, can you? One sec. Can you see now? Oh, it was Baba, not me. All right, CD desktop. All right, so CD into JS. So let's take a look at these folders. So your node modules are obviously all of your packages, right? What lives inside dist? Your bundled like JavaScript, and you might have more things in there. Like for example, your bundled JavaScript is your concatenated source. But if you go to production, you might also want to, like, you know, minify it or uglify it, which is basically a way of taking all your code and compressing it as much as you can so it loads as fast as possible, right? That would also be in here, right? And then you have your, these things are what makes the whole world go around, and we'll talk about it. But like, so the top level is just kind of like your configuration, top level stuff. Your source is where your actual code will live, right? So it's just a strategy to keep things clean. Fair? So inside the source, we'll have our index, our foobar, and then if you want to make more subfolders, like you can and you probably should. And we'll talk about a couple of strategies when we get to React. But for the time being, let's, yo, why do I keep losing shit, man? This is why I like Vim. I don't gotta like move around so much. Let's go to index. Okay. What does it look like to you?
Module exports.
What's up?
There's like module export.
Yeah, well, so aside from line 1, what do line 3 and 4 look like? Plain old JavaScript, right? So let's just make a quick change just to see if it shows up, right? If I do like, if I hit save, how would I know if it built or not? Yep. Go where? Go here and take a look. Right, you see here? It says index was rebuilt. It went from like 99 bytes to 103 bytes, which works because the 1 and 1 are 2 bytes each to get 4. So all good, right? Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at what the bundle looks like. If you look here now, boom.
How do you know that one is 2 bytes?
Huh? All characters are 2 bytes. In like base complex. Fair? So it showed up right here. And if I were to like update it and I hit save again, boom, you see how it updates here? So now we have confirmation that it is working. And if we want further proof, we can just open up our index.html, open in browser, and in the console, what do you expect to see? Right. So we'll see like, boom. CS is not fun. I'll take a look at that, eventually. Fair? Okay, cool. So now, have you ever seen this before?
Yeah.
I do have, but anyone else? No. Maybe in documentation anywhere? Probably because you looked at React and shit. Okay. So this is the one piece. So the reason why I didn't teach this to you when I talked about like ES6 is because this is the one piece that has not yet been implemented by like browsers because they can't figure out how to do it yet. But this is the final, or not final, but if you ask me, it's one of the most important pieces of new ES6, and it's a different way to require, which I think is much more useful, right? But before we do that, let's just take a moment and realize that we have achieved Node.js-like file separation in our front end, right? So if I wanted, I could open up, foobar.js, and if I did something like this, if I did module.exports equals to function bar, right? And if I went here and I just said const bar equals to require foobar, it should work, right? I mean, isn't that how we do stuff on Node? Right? And watch, shut the fuck up. Let me also do like console.log bar. Let's see what that looks like. We're gonna have to take a mandatory break soon, guys. Refresh, boom. You see? Isn't this what we had here? But now it's showing up here because we were able to require it. What's up?
It's ugly looking at it that way. Function.
Ah, there you go. See? Yo, Oz is already on board. He's like, fuck this bullshit. Let's go back to imports, which I'm going to show you. It's very powerful. But, fair? And so, could you implement this style with this technique? Easily, right? I mean, you still have to write the goddamn font, which is annoying. But, like, your ajax.js, like, if you were to build it, right? Your ajax.js would be what? It would be its own file. It would have what module.export, and what would it export? An object, right? An object which has put, post, all that stuff, right? And then in here, what you can do is like you can require it, pull the ones that you need, and you're done, right? And in the same way, you can have like an S and U.js that just either implement the specific functions that you need, or if you want, you can abstract that away even more and like import that in and call it and all that crazy shit, right? So I think what we're gonna do is this.
How you set that?
We're not there yet. I'm gonna show, like, to me, that's the least important part. We're gonna talk about it after. Yeah, fuck that shit. Like, build tool. Like, I think anyone who asks you, hey, how, like, you should know how a build tool works. But if they ask you to know from memory how to set up a build, that's fucking bullshit. It's a build tool. It's not supposed to be something that you are, unless the company is build tools are us, where their whole point is to build tools. No reason to know it, if you ask me. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. Why don't we go ahead and build our Ajax, get put and all that. We'll do it as a class, and then we can see how that would get pulled in.
Oh, could you use that method that you used on your code?
Which one?
The one where you have the object and you return each function or
Ajax that.
Yeah,
Ajax
value.
Wait, the one you two are doing.
What were we doing? I don't remember.
That's a nice one.
The one Randy fucked up.
Randy always fucks up my shit, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's window.ajax.
All right. I'm not sure what you're saying, Jose, but maybe during a break.
What he's saying is what you said you were about to do.
Oh, okay, good, cool. So we're all on the same page. Oh, he's showing me.
This shit. Show it in this method.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, ready? Yo, guys, I want to write a get. How? Tell me. Do we need to protect lemmings anymore? We're in the land of fucking already protected lemmings, man. Why don't we need to do it anymore? Because exports already do it for us, right? So, how do we do it? Get is going to be what? A function. So, how do I write a function? Okay, I could do this, right? Now, is there another way I could do it potentially? Is there any? So what's this is also like JavaScript review 101. What's the difference between these two things?
Let's go. Const, whatever is above it doesn't see it.
Right, word, right? That's a really good one. So if I call, I mean, obviously, I should probably call like get underscore some shit. If I try to call get here, it would fail, right? Why?
It's a variable.
It's above the variable.
Exactly. It's above the variable. So here it's like, I don't know what get is, because at line 6 is where it goes and commits to a memory, some sort of allocation for something called get, which happens to be a bad arrow function, right? Whereas lines 1 through 3, because it's a function, I guess the word is, I think it's function declaration. Because it's a function declaration, you can call it, like JavaScript runs twice, remember? So the first time it'll go and read through all of those, and so you can call it, above. Now, I would argue that at this day and age, you have no reason to use this anymore because you can export stuff, you know exactly when you're going to call it, right? So I would say that is no longer required. So fuck that noise. I don't want to talk in absolute because that's what the sits do, but generally, yeah. I wanted to make that comparison at some point. But like in general, you should never be like always or never. But I would say in a case like this where you're going to be exporting these, there's no, and you will probably not need to call it inside your foobar. I would say it's best to keep it this way because it keeps it like light, and it's just like it's easier to type. Like you're typing less. That's it. Okay. It also boils down to personal preference too, right? If anyone ever asks you for pros and cons, like you can talk about the thing I just talked about, and you can also mention something that we'll talk about on probably Thursday or a Sunday with this keyword, which we haven't talked about yet, but we will get there.
I've been asked that in the interview.
What's up?
I've been asked that.
You see that? People ask you that with this. This?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. So, at work we use ES 5.1, so no. But for all the code that I've written on my own for the past like year and a half, it's always been this. What's up? No, because fun fact, ES 5.1 has support for filter, map, and reduce. And I don't know why people don't fucking know this because it's been around since IE8. But like someone at Samantha Job said that shit, and she was about to shut them down, but she just joined, so she couldn't. But it's like, it's good to know. You know what I mean?
You know what else I'm putting in my head? I thought what is the difference from the HTML5 to
HTML 4.1?
HTML?
Can you tell me?
I don't fucking know.
Not to put you in the.
If you run HTML5 on IE, it breaks. That's the difference.
No. So I in case that shows, we should do a class with like common interview questions. That might be good, right? But in general, just to kind of like just put it in there, HTML5 just introduces a lot more tags, obviously. But the most important thing is it introduces a lot of semantic tags, like the section and the article. You guys remember those?
I said
right?
those.
Good, because and that's the most important thing that I think HTML. Well, no, there's section, article, aside, footer, header.
That motherfucker was looking at me like I was saying alien words, but in my head I was like, I know those are like.
No, that is correct.
Someone just asked him the question. He asked you just wanted the answer.
He had a fucking paper. He probably ain't no shit.
Right. Anyway, but That's important to know. And the other thing is that prior to HTML5, you can only use H1 once per page, but that is no longer true because each of these semantic tags is its own sectioning root element. So you can have up to one H1 as the direct child of each section or article and so forth. What's up? Not in the footer because that is not a sectioning root element. Your sectioning root elements are your aside, your section, your article, and your body. And I think that's it.
Do any of you actually use header in here?
What's up? Not divs. No, you can use divs, but you can't put an H1. Like, you can't have an H1 as a child of a div and be like, I can have more than.
So you can't make a div with H1 and another div with H1.
Right, exactly. You can't do that. But you can make a section with an H1 and put inside of it a section with an H1 in it.
Ew, you don't do section, article.
You can if you need to. But anyway, now we're gonna Okay, so here, guys, how would I export this? Equals to what? But no.
No.
At least with the win, an object, and then in there. So there's a couple of ways, right? So in this particular way that I have it built, how would I export these four? Go. So it's an object. So wait, okay. So someone said, yeah, property. Paul, you said what?
That's the property. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, you tell me what you were thinking. Okay, what's in your heart, man?
Well, what I was gonna answer was before, was like throw on one that it would need to be within
An object, right? But in this way, what could you do?
That's the property and value.
Same name as the key.
There we go.
Yo, Jose with the win, right? You guys hear what he said? Why? The reason why we're putting just the word is because what? Jose? Same name, right? So I could just do get, get, and that's the ES5 way of doing it. But because it's ES6, it just knows that, like, oh yeah, get, means this is, it's creating an object with a property called get, which points to that. Understood? Now, if we were to go back to the other way, which I think Paul and Jose were talking about, how do we do with that?
all of those would need to be within an object.
So I'm gonna create one more. I think I like blinded myself. Shit.
Can you like comment out?
Yeah, it's like
No, I'm gonna do one more. Ajax take 2. Fair? And here, so anyone?
The way he was talking about?
Yeah.
So would that have to be like an object?
Yeah. And then I could do Ajax dot get equals to. You guys see that?
That's a lot of time.
This is what we use for
Sure.
Yeah.
Yo, you guys see how you're drawing these parallels? Keep doing that because that's just the way you like reinforce it in your head. If you ever see something that you don't understand, try to think about it in terms of something that you do understand. I find it makes it a lot easier to like just remember how things work. But you see this? In this case, all we did is we just like defined 4 properties and we said, okay, go ahead. Here, we just did 4 variables and we're pulling them out as an export. There's really no proper way of doing this. I tend to prefer this, but that's just me, right?
This way you don't have to do Ajax.
But yeah, I don't really like that. But again, it's like there's no reason not to do it aside from like I just don't want to. Yeah, it's a preference thing, right?
That looks better.
Yeah, exactly. So like you happen to prefer this, right? But other people might be like, "Fuck off! This is like whatever." But
that's mental conditioning because you think Todd is smart, so you're like, you know what he's doing must be right.
No, it actually looks better. You just write a get and then the URL.
I understand what you're saying.
So guys, now here's the thing. I'm not really even that much interested in implementing this inside, but I'm gonna ask you this. How do I pull this out into here? No. I wanted to do it in terms of like the module. Yeah, so it would be what?
Whatever name requires.
Equals to require, right? You know what? Here, why don't we console.log out what bar is? Can you guys? So previously it was what? Bar was a function, right? What is bar now? So it must be like if I did type of bar, it would give me what? It would give me an object, right? You guys see that? Yeah? So I go back, I hit refresh. You see, bar is now an object. But here's the thing: if I try to access bar, am I going to be able to? No. Why not? Because it's automatically protected in scope, right? So these are automatically wrapped in that closed function express IIFE that we've talked about previously. The beauty of it is that it happens to be injected for us here. And in fact, if we were to look at our bundle, I bet we could see it right here. You see what it's inside of? It's inside of its own function for that reason. I mean, like the way like they do it is crazy, but effectively these are self-contained, so you don't ever have to touch them, or rather, you don't ever have to worry about them like being overwritten. So now, if Chester was here today and he had his like 15 Chrome extensions, they would not fuck with us. Gotcha. So
How often do you use strict?
I almost never do it. I mean, I know people like to do it. It just gives you a few. It like enforces a couple of things, but you can use like RJS, like linter or common sense. So whatever. Yeah. I mean, people would like throw me under the bus for that statement, but that's okay. I know you guys wouldn't. So. Stay tuned. There you go. All right, I like that. So guys, here's a question for you. So this is an object, right? Can you guys tell me another way that I could write bar that might be more ES6y? Object destructuring, right? So how would that work? What's up? That's fine. Happens, man. So how do we destructure? But with the curly brackets. Yeah. All right. Good shit, guys. See, if you guys can, like, I'm happy. I don't even give. I mean, I do give a shit. Get your Instagram projects done, but like, this is good. Makes me feel good. You see that, right? And so this is possible because it's an object, right? So it's fine. And now what's nice is now you don't have to do ajax.get anymore. If you want to call a get request, what would you do? Just get. Done. Right? Or put and post and so forth. Fair? Okay. Any questions so far?
I see how you. I see what you lead it. Import is that's still node when you write.
Thank you.
First way you had it. Import that was still node.
It's still so it's Node, but it's not actually supported in any version of Node yet. It's in the spec, right? So like, remember how we said that ES6 is really just a bunch of rules that the people at ECMA, the European Computer Manufacturing Association, like they get like together every year and they write a bunch of rules for this stuff. And then it's up to the browsers or the creators of Node to go ahead and implement the specification. So all the specs of ES6, which is a huge update, are I think more or less implemented. I think it's at like 98% or something. The one major thing that remains outstanding is this, because they're not sure how to do this yet.
You mean the other thing?
Yeah, yeah. But this is fine. But the other thing that we're trying to lead up to, right? So I'll probably jump into that right now. But the idea, like, so far, does that make sense? Okay. But the idea is that this is just an ES6-ish way of achieving this, right? Let's see if we can convert this to a. Sorry. So this is like the node, like required node, like 6.1 way of doing it, right? Let's see if we can convert it to the version that you had before. Okay. I'm gonna write them both, and I just want you to tell me, you know, what looks different. So here's the way that we already know, we understand this. I bet some of you probably even use this in your projects, right? You almost certainly use modules that export. I know that's for sure, right? Here's the other way. Don't joke about that, bro. All right, so take a look at line 1 versus line 2. Can you guys tell me what the differences are, what the similarities are? Huh? Yeah, there's no const. Yeah, no more required, and you have like the word from. So it's like a bit easier to read, right?
Import is pretty much the new one for require.
Exactly. So let's comment this out, and then on this end, instead of doing modules.exports, we can just do export. Wait, so let's see if it built first. It should. I'm pretty sure it built like a boss. But you see that? And that's it. So this is the way that, and then obviously if we wanted, like, for example, if our index did not need a put request, okay, great. And now we don't have a put. Like, it doesn't matter. You pick and choose the things that you want to import and export. And if you want, instead of doing this, what you could have done, at least I'm pretty sure, here, let's find out, is I'm pretty sure what you've done, export get, export post. Find out. Could be so wrong about this, but yeah, that worked. So there you go. So well, here's the thing, though. Like the main point here is just that you can pick and choose what you want to export, and you can just kind of, it's just like a nicer like one-liner. Yeah, but the thing is, like, you don't have to export like every single function or object or like var or some shit, right, on the page. And that's kind of nice. So if you want to have, like, for example, if you want like API keys or something that you don't want other people to I mean, they could just read your code and see it. But if you don't want them to like programmatically access it, like, that's one thing you could do is put like if I put like a const. What's up?
Wait, did you guys mind environmental variables?
No. No. Wait, environmental variables in Firebase?
Environmental variables in the backend to hide your Firebase.
I didn't really want to do it. I'm sure you can read about it. I don't care. But you see this guy, like this variable, because it's not exported, cannot be imported here, and therefore it is not accessible anywhere except for your foobar.js.
You wanted to put
Yeah, like if you want to put an API key in there, like you could do that. Just know that someone could just read your source, like your bundle.js, and just find out.
Come to office side, I'll teach you how.
That was super hard to read.
Yeah, but you can still like do it if you try hard enough, right? It's not truly secure. All right.
I am my office hour. What you mean?
If you're going to do this, you don't use import. You say import not.
No. Because you're using Babel, Babel will convert this. So, sorry. So that's the other thing. Hey, what is this script that we're trying to run? All this shit that it's doing, right? So one of the main things that it does is, like, the whole point of this script is that, I'm not making sure anymore. It's probably a good time to do it. But the whole point of that script is that it takes your code that you wrote in a bunch of different files and concatenates them into one. But this program will also transform your code if you wanted to. So one thing that it does is it's called a transpiler. It will take your like ES6 code and convert it into ES5. So like people started to write ES6 like 3 years ago because, you know, some 15-year-old, he's a 15-year-old from like Australia, he invented like this transpiler, which will take all ES6, convert it to ES5 so that it runs on like IE10.
Fine.
What's up? It's pretty fine. And here's the thing, like even now, like people aren't like even writing ES6, they're writing like ES like 8.2 because Babel still works the same way, right? So all the new features that exist or are on deck for 8.2, some of them are actually used in production already because Babel can transform. I personally think that's fucking stupid because if you're like we're on ES6 right now, right? If you're 2 versions away, some things might get dropped or changed, and if you include them in production code, now you no longer have JavaScript. You have some fantasy shit. So I prefer to always like be like one, like so we're on ES6, so I'm okay with doing ES like 7.1 or something, but that's it. Now when that comes out, I'll be like, all right, I'll go into 8 because otherwise, like you're not really, it's not super productive. But you can do it if you wanted to, or if you wanted to experiment, like you could also do that. Yeah, and then or it might get dropped, and then like it's just like now you have code that's not really compliant. It's not like a real language anymore. It might still work, but that's like besides the point. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll take a small break. When we come back, I wanna talk about how we actually like run this script to build our code, once we talk about that, I want to show you guys how we can build a simple multi-page app with this technique. So I don't think there's going to be any like self-practice like today, but I'll show you guys how to build like I guess we can do a to-do list.
It's being recorded.
It's being recorded. I mean, like maybe drop right now, but we'll find out. Hold on. Are you recording? Where the fuck is it? Oh, hey, I'll go take a break and come back at 7:50.
Take a break. Take a break.
What if we come on a project I wanted to try and do like
A live code editor?
Yeah.
Wait, you trying to take over Samantha? Get the fuck out of here.
Can I
No.
do that?
No, yeah, you can if you want to. I mean, here's the thing.
If I want to, but
You can do it. Just like, here's the thing. If you're going to do it, it's got. Oh, sorry. You could do it, but it's got to be better than mine.
I'm gonna use Python tutor, so it is.
Are you gonna Python tutor? You should do that actually. 'Cause I've been.
I was looking into it. I've been thinking about
You know what? You know what else you could do if you want? Like, you can.
people have like the way they have like web bot kits. Don't they?
Are you sure? I mean,
And I just signed up for a fucking Wednesday class anyway, so. Because people work from,
not going back to work
9
today.
to 5.
Where are you guys going? Victory. I don't know yet. Chipotle is right there. Chipotle? I haven't had a meal.
Oh,
I don't know. These people are going somewhere
I'm
else.
interested.
Go on him.
I don't want to come, but I'll take the food.
Do you want Chipotle? Do you want chips and chips? Chips and guac? Do you want chips and guac?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want that.
It's like $3. Okay. Fucking Venmo me. Yeah. Like taking people's credit card makes you deceive you.
I'm making that face at me, woman. Just a little bit too much, man. I got too much sugar in me.
Yo, get the fuck on my whole shit off.
Yeah. I'm positive it ain't the person behind the keys.
Get the fucking shit off, bro. Look, I have code that's in quotes that never was supposed to be in quotes. And like, it says head, upstream, downstream. Like, no fucking stuff.
Yeah, I think Talk is nice. The reason he's giving this little extension is so he could be even harder than grading.
That's cool. I don't care. I just need some extra time. I just need some extra time. This guy, Follows crazy.
What?
I'm so crazy.
Oh, nah, like, I thought maybe they had a problem for a second. I was like, damn.
Nah, we just needed, seriously though? Like,
Nah,
I fucked up. I was there arguing.
I'm positive you guys wouldn't finish, because, I don't know, it was a little bit of a lot to act in the amount of time, but Sundays
I
are
don't
good.
think so.
I think so. In the group setting where people can't talk to each other, and it may have been difficult unless you guys met up during the weekend or something.
Nah, I have a job, like, so that requires.
I think we're saying the same thing. I'm saying like it was a lot to ask for the time period.
Are they there?
Jose is out there. I think we're trying to get some food.
Yo, Jose. That nigga playing me.
Say hold on.
Yeah, I need Jama to design my front end for me. The man is talented.
He's nice, bro.
Jama. I need you to help me with my front end. I need design ideas.
What are you trying to do? Just
I'm trying to do the same thing.
Pages.
Think about the most crazy thing you can. I build it. I just need like a nice way to lay it out.
I just copied everything in Instagram. How it's working in Instagram.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly the same way.
Oh.
As close as possible.
Oh. Okay. I can do that.
It's just you open the Instagram and see
how they have it.
Yeah, how they have it. You're doing Instagram call. Why to go crazy to create something? Just go there and duplicate it.
They don't have that. What's called that user section though.
They do have.
With the 3 pictures.
Yeah.
You're lying.
They do have. Go right here.
This?
Yeah. Discover people this way. You can see all the people.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't even realize that.
Now you think that it looks similar, right? Exactly the same way.
That was brilliant. I didn't think about that. I was like trying to come up with unique and interesting ways to do shit.
Yo.
What are you working on, Watson?
My sister's reaching out. She's graduating, so I'm reaching out to like all her friends and like pictures.
What do you mean by book?
Just book. This one is like certified. Pictures.
Oh, like the physical book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you added me?
Yeah, I'm adding everybody. I was just saying, he's told them like, who else can I have?
Call me first. Oh, so it's just like that. It's really good. Yeah.
So funny, 'cause I'm like going crazy.
Table lead, call me. That looks better. That actually could be. We kept seeing things like that. Colombian and type. Yeah, like that. Knowledge.
Data analyst intern.
Cool.
With everything I feel.
Yo, the food's still alive, bro.
Hey! There we go. Now I can test your row. Thank you. Now I can finally. I guess you. I'm getting quite angry for you, but you can't. All right, cool. I'm just a cheerleader. All right. Now. That's a West Indian term. Yeah. Why? Okay. So why the same? I'm afraid you get offended when they're called ladies. They don't like that either. You know, they feel like it's just, they feel like they go to history and they try to go to war. Yeah, the origins of what they was.
So that means you try that road.
And they even say that that guy's not general. And they're like, it comes from a different place, a different society, it's just like us today. I'm like, oh, guys, like you can nitpick all those things. I like the guy one is too. Anytime something guy today, it's still kind of it might be different. Yeah. That's what
And then, man, he used physics, advanced stats, problem stats.
It's not just range, man. For the range, so the equation of range is R equals to VO squared sine 2 theta over 2g. What that means is 2 theta is important. So sine is maximized at 90 degrees. So if you do that at 45, you get the max range. That's all I did. Because like I always fall short. So I started doing that. I started to hit the backboard every time. Like, yeah, man. But it doesn't matter if in a game like, you get like I was this big, I just get stuck.
Nah,
And the next grew, and then it's weird. Like,
see, usually, like, depends on who I'm playing with. If I'm the tallest fucker in there, I'll always be in the post 80. I'll beat people in the post. If I'm not, and like if everybody is around my same height, I can still go to post if I feel like it, but I just stay on the mid court. We should play ball together. We play ball together.
yo, who saw the DSW game?
I saw it, man.
I didn't see it, but I saw the stats. It was great.
I saw, yo, I was watching it and I could not believe what my eyes was looking at. That was bocce ball.
It's not dinner hour. Get out of here. You got Mario and Brandon there eating dinner. All right, I'm gonna go over Webpack really briefly. I'll start to build shit in as we need to.
I feel like there's always some shit that you don't never know. I've actually never used Babel.
Oh, really? No, you must have if you use like React.
React.
Oh, yo, see, I'm so against that shit. It's cool, like once you know what you're doing, like use it, but
see, I'm up and running in like 2 seconds. Delete the file that I don't fucking need, and I'm out.
Fair.
So you're surprised that Golden State won?
No, I wasn't.
No, not at all.
Surprised
I was just happy.
They had 45 in the first quarter. That shit was embarrassing.
Everybody went like to the bathroom or no suit.
Well, we're starting. Oh, no. Yeah, we're starting. Fuck it. 7:55. All right, cool guys. So let's get back to it, shall we? Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Oh man, we're gonna make a to-do list app. Exciting.
Yay! Yay!
The ultimate to-do list. Yo, if anyone makes an Alexa app +1 or something with like IoT.
What the fuck is Alexa?
Yeah, like the Amazon Alexa. It's
Oh,
something that you can talk to.
IoT.
Yeah, like they have it. They have an API.
What the hell is that API?
Alexa API, pretty sure.
Oh, there's something called Alexa API?
I think
There's what's called? There's another API. There's
I
voice
have
recognition. No, voice recognition.
Oh, yeah, it's probably one of those. I'm not sure.
Right there.
Or like if you make like a car like move around or some shit, or you get one of those dash buttons that you click it and it does stuff. Totally, that'd be awesome.
But no,
Just FYI, put it. You know, I mean, like expand. Like think about this kind of stuff.
One of my classmates did a birthday app in which when it's somebody's birthday.
Yeah, like a Facebook
send
birthday
the
app.
actual text to anybody's phone.
Oh yeah, if you do something with text, that'd be cool too. Or like, so I thought about this shit. Like, I always thought something like you pre-record like a video or something, and then like every day at 12 it checks which friends have birthdays and it posts on their walls. Yeah, I mean, you can do that too. What's up? What's your Facebook wall?
I don't have Facebook.
So then you can build that in, right? Where you can say like it pulls in your friend list, and you can pick the ones that you care about, or you can put it up into like good friends, crappy friends, I don't give a fuck, and like work. You know what I mean?
I expect great things from this thing.
I expect good things from everybody. Get the fuck out of here. All right, guys. So, whoa, hey, what are you doing? Get back. Let's get back to it. Come on. No, we're here. All right, speaking. Okay. So guys, the next like the next main thing to talk about is this, right? Like, so we have all this stuff going on, but the question is, how does it all work, right? So let's talk that through. I'm just gonna show you guys the basics of it, and then we can move on. And I would say the rest, I leave it up to you to like do some Google searches on and get it going. People have tricked out their build tools. Like I have friends who will like make a change and they can just like tab back and their browser automatically reloads for them. I think that's a little crazy, but you can do that if you want. But here's the way it works. So let's talk about the two files that we see here. Webpack config and webpack config prod.js.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
So this is Node. You can't require that. Things like that.
Good question. So for your front end code, no. Like if you require FS, it's just gonna be undefined. Okay? Because right, like you can't do that. But in Webpack, like you can, and you kind of have to, right? Or like Webpack does it for you, but like if you needed to, like you could, right? Yeah, because Webpack, so Webpack is the program that will walk through your code and build it for you, okay? But the code that it's building is strictly front-end code, so you can't do like FS, you can't do like, I mean, like anything that's like not inside the browser, you can't do, okay? You can't, so now, with that being said, let's talk about how like Webpack works. So Webpack is what we call, whoa, wet man. Webpack is what we call a JavaScript task runner. So the way a task runner works is basically, if you're building a website or something like that, there's a bunch of tasks that you might have to do. For example, starting your server, cleaning your DB, running like migrations on your DB, all that kind of stuff, right? So what people have done historically is like from a long time back, they've written programs that will allow you to easily like define and run these tasks, okay? So any standard like website that's worth its salt that lives on the internet will have a whole array of different tasks that need to be run at different stages of the process, right? Like when you're gonna like deploy to staging versus production, so on and so forth, okay? And in fact, when we ran npm run watch, we actually ran a specific task, okay? It's just that before Node.js, all of these tasks were done through, you know, through other languages. So like the first one was, the first like task runner was called, or not first, but the first popular one that I knew of at least, was called make. It was written in C, C++, okay? And then if you're using like Ruby, you have Ruby's version of it, which is called rake.
Mine is bake.
No, for Python, we use fab. For wow, that was corny.
You're laughing.
It's just so sad. Yeah.
Can we do the static site generator would probably be much easier, much more this than say how it was done, how it was built before.
No, because like the static site generator. So I actually no, I'm glad you brought this up because the static site generator, what it's doing is it's just generating HTML on the server side that you can just serve, right? Whereas this is JavaScript for like a front end app. So like, I guess so you're technically right. We can use Webpack to watch our shit and then we can instruct Webpack to say, hey, every time a file changes, instead of trying to bundle the JavaScript, take all the code and transform it and all that stuff, right? We just rolled our own, if you will, right? But that is a good example of what a task runner would do, right? It just runs a specific task at a certain point. Webpack is a task runner, and it's like the third generation of popular JavaScript task runners. So the first one was called a grunt, and then came gulp, and now a Webpack. You see, yeah, like we still use gulp. Like when I started at my job 2 years ago, like they didn't have shit. I'm like, oh well, gulp is the most famous thing. So I wrote a bunch of gulp plugins, all this crap, and we have this gulp like system in place. What's up? You still see make and grunt? Yeah, like make is still popular. At my old gig, make was all we used.
I think they use it in the Linux that I have as a package.
Yeah, because it's not JavaScript, right? So like for JavaScript projects, you might want to use Webpack or Gulp or Grunt. But if you're building something in Python, it's fucking stupid to use Webpack, right? Because it's probably not even built for it. Like, you see what I mean? And the same way, if you're gonna use like Ruby on Rails, use Rake. It was built for that purpose, right? So the idea with Webpack is certain tasks that we might want to do are like, one, every time I change the file, rebuild it, right? Two might be when I'm like ready to deploy it, take the code, rebuild it one more time, but then also compress it, remove all the extra spaces, swap in all the variable names, the A's and B's and stuff like that, right? What's up? Right, right, exactly, right? So the idea is that that's what Webpack is for. And the way Webpack works is there are four main concepts in Webpack, okay? There's the input, the output, the loaders, and the plugins. Okay, so these are the four main pieces of it. The input is sort of like what is the entry point of my code? Okay, so in the past it's always been that one file, like main.js, right? But in here, our entry point is whatever we choose it like to be. And what Webpack will do is it will start off at index at the entry point. So in this case, it's source index, and it will scan through index and find all the files that index is trying to require, and then open those up. You know, if it's a read file, we're gonna scan. What's up? Right, exactly like Node, but with Node it just loads it. Webpack has to scan it, load it, and then concatenate it in the correct order. You see? And so the output is where is it going to actually spit that out, right? So if you look here, can you guys tell me where it's going to spit it out? What's up? This bundle, and what's this underscore dir name? What's up?
Oh, path?
It's the current like directory that you are in. So it makes it so it's gonna say, oh, if I'm running because I'm running Webpack on my JS folder, it's gonna create the dis folder inside the JS folder and put the bundle inside of that. You see? So if you want to change it in the future, like you can, right? But I just wanted to show you the underscore is actually a special Node.js variable, and it always refers to the current directory that the script that is being run is in. Okay, so we run our Webpack inside the JS folder. So dir name will be /home / like your name / desktop / whatever / JS. Boom. Okay. Underscore dir name. Okay. Then comes the loaders. And the loaders are under the module property. Okay. And the way the loaders work is basically here, like you tell it, how should I transform the files that were being loaded? So as I said here, in index, it's going to say, okay, what JS files does index depend on? And it's going to say, oh, it depends on foobar, right? So it loads like foobar itself. But what this is doing is this loader is called Babel loader. And it's saying, okay, if the file being loaded is a JS file, then run this custom transformer, which will take the ES6, convert it back to ES5, and use these particular like Babel presets. A preset is like, hey, what rules should it try to follow? So remember how I said there's ES6, ES7, and all that stuff? So here I'm telling it, if you see anything that is specific to React, transform it. If you see anything that's ES2015, which is ES6, transform it. And I think stage 2 like refers to some of the more experimental changes that are up. What's up? I thought it was 0 through 3, but I could be wrong. But it doesn't make a difference. It's like, so they have like stages will like refer to different levels of experimentation. There's stage 0, 1, 2, 3. There might be a 4. I'm not sure. But like regardless, if you're like, oh, I don't know what this is, just be like, oh, Babel presets. See stage 2. If you Google that, it'll tell you exactly what stage 2 supports. If you look here, stage 2 supports syntax dynamic import and transform class properties, whatever the fuck that means, right? So you can click into it and it'll take you to the page where they give you an example. What is it doing? Oh, okay. So it specifically refers to this class syntax. We'll learn about it later. But the point is that stage 2 will allow you to write that specific type of JavaScript syntax that might not be widely supported by all the browsers, but it's definitely in the spec, and it will transform it into something that can be understood by all the browsers. Fair? And then the final step are the plugins. Now the plugins you can see in the config.prod, where what you can do is, if you look here, this plugin calls something called the uglified.js, which will take your code and compress it for you. So for example, if I wanted to run this, actually I gotta find out how to run it. So let's take a look at it. Okay, production package. Watch config. Aha. Build. So if I run npm run build, for it done, and if I were to now go back, what's up? Yeah, it should. Well, here, let's take a look at what it does. It creates. Nope, it's the same one. You see this? It still creates it in this bundle, but now, do you see this? Your bundle is one line, and it's a lot harder to read, right? Because it's like really, really large. But what it's done is it's taken your code, which has all the extra spaces and all that, and compressed into one line. It's taken all the variables that you had and swapped it with E's and R's and stuff. So it's taking as few bytes of space as it possibly can, which means it'll load as fast as possible. So but of course now it's harder to read, which is good if it's on prod, but bad if you're trying to build, right? Or if you're trying to make the thing work. So what you do, what's up?
Oh, no, that impression has to be in a public folder. Oh, no, in a build folder that you rename public.
It doesn't have to be. It can be anywhere, right? I mean, you're thinking about your backend server configuration. Well, we're not talking about that right now. We're doing it completely coupled. When you push this, you only push the bundle. You don't push the bundle. Yeah, effectively. I mean, you can if you want to, but it won't ever get pulled because your index.html always points to the bundle only. So even if you have 10,000 bits, it won't be pulled. But yes, you're right. To keep things not really safe, but kind of safe, is what you can do is when you deploy, just push your bundle and keep this separated. That doesn't mean put this in your git ignore. That's completely different. You want to commit all of your smaller. Yeah, no. Don't put your actual code in the foot, because your bundle is not the code. This is your code, right? Your foobar, your index. Commit that shit. Keep track of it. But when you deploy, you're probably so far we've only deployed through GitHub, but you might want to deploy to a different server. So in that server, only push your bundle. You see? Any questions so far? So to recap, right? Webpack is an example of what? A task runner. What's a task runner? Something that runs tasks. Give me an example of. Give me 2 examples of common tasks that you might want to run with the JavaScript code. Yeah, but what is that? What's the point of what the fuck's a watch? What does it do? Watch what changes and then rebuild your code. Why? Why is it rebuilding code? Why can't I just include all my shit? Yeah, why is it doing a bundle? Why can't I just include all my scripts? Because the whole point is to have one file so that you don't load 15, right? I'm asking a rhetorical question just to have.
No, that makes sense to ask. Thinking about it now, I forgot.
Why do you write cons?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep asking that shit because I know you know, and you might know you know, but your interviewer does not. He probably talked to 5 people who are like, oh, LOL var. So you know what I mean. So make sure you want to be able to articulate the easy stuff, right, and sound smart. Anyway, so yeah. I'd say the next part.
So many of you are fucking stupid.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I mean, anyway. So Webpack is a task runner, right? It runs tasks. An example of a task is a watch. Give me another example of a task. I mean, yeah, but in this case, no, right? Because like I'm specifically asking for Webpack tasks. Yeah, build. And what's the difference between build and watch? What does build do that watch does not?
It doesn't watch.
Okay, fine, but one more.
One more?
What does it do? Now what doesn't it do?
And so if you weren't sure, where could you go?
Build does that last line.
Yeah. So what build does is you see that it will actually, first of all, it pulls from a different Webpack configuration file, and that configuration file includes a plugin which will include a specific after effect on your code after it's been already built, which is what? Uglify. What does Uglify do?
Makes it compresses it.
It minifies your code, right? So it removes all excess spaces, it removes all comments, it takes all variable names and replaces them with like really basic ones like R's and A's and B's and R zeros and shit, so that it optimizes the amount of space that your code actually needs. Then that's a big deal, because once you start to use React and stuff, your code's gonna get huge, and you want it to be as fast as possible, right? Now, along that front, we've just covered the most basic, right? So, well, actually, let's keep going. What does this do? What's the point of this? What is this property define? Right. It shows you what is the file it needs to touch in order to kickstart your application, right? So think of index as the main entry point to your code, okay? Just like here. In Node it would be? Right, and in that index you run your server, right? So in here, like you might want to start like your Ajax call or like whatever, okay? And I'll show you how you can structure that. What does output do? Obviously. Where it builds to, right? And the idea is, where should this be referenced in your HTML?
Where should?
Yeah, in your script source, right? Your script should always point to this, not your index, right? Why? Because that includes the entire build thing, whereas the index is just the starting point. It's going to have a bunch of required browsers, like what the fuck's a require, and it's going to break everything, okay? Now, what's the purpose of these guys? What is a quote-unquote loader? What does that do?
Loaders will transform the code.
There you go. A loader will transform your code in a specific way, right? So we're using which loader? The Babel loader. Babel is yet another project, a giant project backed by Facebook and shit. And what does Babel do?
Transpile your code. Yes,
and what does it mean to transpile?
Change it.
Converts it from one version to a different version, right? So it converts it from ES6 to ES5. Now, largely we don't really need Babel, right? Why? Because ES6 is JavaScript, right? Almost all aspects of JavaScript are already implemented. However, people still choose to so that they can use the latest version, more so the like ES 8.1 or some shit, or a 7.1, right? So they can like start to use it already. But the other part of it is, yeah, if you have to support an old ass browser, but you don't want to use crappy old school like JS coding techniques, you can use Babel to make it backwards compatible. Okay.
It won't always work though, right? Like if I use super.
Yeah, if you're using IE5, like, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, yeah, your computer will probably explode. But like, if you're using things like IE9 or IE10, if you use Babel, it'll actually allow you to write code that is pretty modern. It might chug along, it might be slow in IE10, but it'll definitely work.
Even if I use the most experimental stuff in JavaScript,
compile back to 5, yeah. Transpile back to 5, sorry. Okay?
I don't think you ever explained why you're giving examples of why you would use an older browser.
Oh, well, I mean, that depends on what company that you're trying to build for, right? Like, so, for example, the company I work for right now.
I mean, I understand. I'm just saying.
And to people, yeah, it's a good point. So, like, you know, to address everyone about that, right? I mean, it just depends on the client, the company you're working on. I used to work at a company where we had to build sites for, like, large law firms, and they all had fucking like, there were 2 versions, like, behind always. But they wanted fancy shit, but they wanted 2 versions behind. My shit
is IE10.
Yeah, I mean, you think I had to support IE8 until like 2014, man.
I just installed Google Chrome like first time today.
We never had Google Chrome before. Oh, you had it in
No,
your
in the company,
Okay,
yeah.
that'll work. Yeah. I know it's crazy, right? So like in those cases, like we probably couldn't even use Babel until like recently because of how old that shit was. But then at my current company, like we support IE 11 and beyond. So if you have IE 10, like okay, who gives a shit? You see what I mean? So it depends on the use case. So you should, I mean, if you're gonna build stuff for your side projects, don't worry about old browsers unless you're specifically trying to build a project for people who would use that. So you always got to think about like the people who are trying to access and use your product, right? Ideally, I would say for your own good, like if you guys really fucking hate me, then you can be like, oh, it's gonna be for IE8, but like generally don't do that. There's no reason to, and it's very, very, very like you can't do much. Like you'd be surprised at how crappy the web was even like 6 years ago. Anyway, right, Babel, and finally we have the plugins, which is all the extra shit you can do. Now, again, this is the most basic. This is the most basic thing I could find because this shit gets crazy. So, no. As in, like, so these are the 4 basic concepts, but you can have a lot more of these. You can have a lot more plugins, things like that. And people do that. They do crazy shit.
The plugin, what is the process that you sent like the
I've seen that when people post it up to like a rogue or something.
Yeah, process.env. So that's what he was talking about, right? Environment, like variables, are variables that you can store on your particular environment. So what you can do is you can set environment like variables for your production versus your like development, right? And some examples of things are like, so okay, for example, suppose you are a cab company and you're using like Google Maps. Okay, you might want to have 2 different keys, one for dev, one for prod. Where on dev it's like a cheap version that's like free for your engineers to test on, but on prod you're paying like Google so you can process like tens of thousands of hits, right? So those keys you want to keep them separated, but you don't want to put them on GitHub because if GitHub gets hacked, now you're fucked, right?
People write scripts to scan for that shit.
Right. So what you do instead is you open up your production server, like you just SSH into it, or you go ahead and somehow, and you just create a file, or you in terminal, like you create like env variables, which will always stay until your server turns off. And in those env variables, you can store like confidential data, and then in your code you can just say, hey, grab me the current env like variable, check to see if it's dev or prod, and based on that do certain things. That's really all it is. What? So, all right. So let's keep going. Yeah, or read on the internet. I mean, he'll tell you the same thing, right? But I'm just saying, like take his time to do like actual like problem solving shit, like process that like env variables. There was a time in my life, like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, like what the fuck's the env variables? Like Googled, what the fuck's the env variable? I'm like, oh, now I know.
I actually got asked on the interview. This fucking gave me like a backend code with the password exposed, and he was like, "How do you make this secure?" And I don't know why I was just staring at the paper for like a minute, and then like right when he was about to be like, "Okay, let's move on," it just hit me like, "Oh, env."
Nice. Yeah, and you could also do like SHA-1 encrypting and all that kind of shit.
Nah, I did env
like whatever, the process.env.foo or whatever. Anyway, okay. So are we good with this? Again, if you look on the internet, you will see some crazy implementations of this stuff. Like when I was teaching myself Redux, I Googled simple Redux starter code, and I got a config that was like, I swear 100 lines. Like, what the fuck is this shit? It's crazy. So it can be a little overwhelming. So just make sure you read through and don't just install stuff like randomly, because one, it gets huge. Like this basic thing, this many, like just take a look at all the stuff it takes, right? So just keep that in mind. Git ignore, man. Git ignore your node modules.
Todd, but how does this make it easier to build an app?
So, okay, that's a good segue. Well, here, can you guess already? What would be simplified here? You can reuse shit easier. You can have smaller files, and you can have more like focus files. And in fact, let's do that. I want to build now a to-do list. Okay, we're gonna build a to-do list, but here's the way it's gonna work. So, like, remember how you guys were doing like users.html and you were doing like all that shit? We don't need that at all, and I will show you why.
Show us the way.
Yeah, we got an hour, so it'll be good, man. Here's what we're gonna do. This is my index. I'll get rid of this stuff. I'll keep. Oh, actually, no. You probably want to see it, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. Oh, man, get the fuck out of here. This is insane. I'll say. What's up? Yeah, no, things are. That should have sailed, my friend. If it was simple, then people wouldn't pay as much as they do for like web. You know what I mean? Like, there's a catch, right? It's got to be somewhere. Make your notes. Mine, yeah, all the time.
Almost like you just randomly start feeling heartbroken and some weird shit.
But you feeling heartbroken? What the hell's wrong with you?
No, but like you're not hurt. Like it's just that weird.
Yeah,
feeling,
probably.
I'm not depressed. I'm just feeling weird. Like my heart is. It ain't hard, bro.
Bro, it's just gas. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's cool.
What is it? Heart gas?
Wait, where is it? Like right here? It's a diaphragm, right?
You got a feeling of heartbreak, but I'm good. It's just a weird feeling. I'm really not explaining.
Maybe you're not good.
Listen to all
And you're
that
not
Drake.
addressing your
I
problems.
know, right? After placing too much
You just listen to all that Drake? All right, we're done. All right. Holy shit, that's it. We should have a rule. If Drake comes up, that's it. All right, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's first talk about how this project should work, and then we're gonna go ahead and build it out. The one thing that you should know is because now we're using everything as like require, all NPM like modules that don't deal with like FS, we can use. So you never have to include something as a script. If you want to use it, just like npm install and then call it. For example, if you want to use jQuery, right? You could just do npm install --save jQuery, and then you can include jQuery, and then boom, you can start to use jQuery. So that's the other thing that's really nice is now you can keep track of all of your like dependencies, not in a script in those script tags that you have to like repeat over and over in your package.json, and it gets built into one file, and you're done. So if we're gonna build a to-do list, right, we should have a couple of things, right? So first, I'm gonna have a page called compose. What will compose do?
It's right there.
What?
By your computer.
Thank you. Compose will create, right? To-do list. Okay. And then if I have like list, what will that do? Well, list all of them. Okay. We could if you want to. If you want to? Sure, if you want to.
I like LoadDB.
It's basic over an explanation. You don't need all that.
What's up? No, I'll just do it with. I'll keep it super basic. Okay. We have that. We'll have. We have compose. We have list. We can have like list. Like ID. Wait, what's up? Compose will add. So create a new item in to-do list. Fair. List will list all of them. List ID is show one. And I think that's it. Okay. But now the difference is these are not server calls. These are actual like compose.html or list.html and so forth, right? So I'm trying to like, without doing the backend, I'm trying to
pages.
Effectively. These are pages. Okay. So like if you look at your Instagram clone, like you had like a feed, right? And then you had like a profile and all that. But you could do that with this now, and I will show you how. I'm gonna use my shit. Fuck it. I'll just read the doc. So first thing that we need. We're not going to actually build 4 HTML pages. That's fucking crazy. Everything is going to work off of our index.html. So what we're now building is what we call an SPA. Can anyone guess what SPA stands for? Right? So a single page application is made possible thanks to Babel. because we can load in very easily. And the way it works is you have one index, and all you do is you remove and add like different HTML. Will not ever reload. Okay. It doesn't make a difference. The idea is you have a bunch of different pages that we call like views, and these views will change the content you see. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons why that's useful. One is that if you reload a page, you're reloading your CSS, you're reloading your JavaScript, all that. Here, like you don't do that at all. You just reload the information that you need. Two is that if you want to do page transitions, you could do some crazy awesome page transitions if you wanted to. I think the coolest example of that would be BGC interview prep. There you go. So one of the last projects I've built before Boston Consulting Group, yeah. BCG ICL. So this thing is one of the last things I helped build. My goddamn company. You see that? So like all of these, I mean, it doesn't update because like I guess like they didn't want to, but like the idea is like you can create all of these interactions. Oh, ew, what's that, man? You can have these smooth transitions if you wanted to, and if you were to reload the page, it'd be impossible, right? Well, actually, you know what? A better one is Mavron. I wonder if they still have their. Watch this, yeah. So you see this guy? It's Mavron.com, right? Wait for it. It's so ugly, but you see what happens? This updates and it transitions. Or if you look here, you see how the URL updates and this transitions without reloading? That's an example of a single page application at work, right? So what's happening is you upload, you change the top URL, you make an AJAX call to get the data, and then you transition. We're not gonna do the AJAX call in this case, but like you see the idea, right? So let's go ahead and build it. The first thing we're gonna need is this Flatiron director. So this is what we call a front-end URL router. Remember how we created in Express our routes? You guys remember that? What was the purpose of that? Why do we do that route? Why do we build those routes? We put different functions that would like call DBs and serve data, right? On the front end, we can also have routes. We also did have routes, right? Like users.html is a route, technically. What did that route do? Give you a page with some HTML code for like your user, right? So what you can do with Flatiron is you can take that over. So instead of reloading the page, it'll give you the same effect. So let me show you what that means. So first of all, how do you use this thing? Really, you have no. Okay, I thought they usually tell you, but here npm install. All right, npm install Flatiron. Are you no longer on npm? That'd be crazy. Nope. There it is. Let me see. Yep, okay. So step one is we have to install this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and install it right now. So I'm gonna stop Webpack. See how I'm in the package? So I say npm install -- save. What's it called? Director. Okay, done. Start this fucker up. Now let's take a look at the docs as to how it should work. So how does this thing work? Okay. So let's copy this code and we'll take a look at it here and we'll try to understand what the fuck it is that it does. Okay. Well, first of all, it's using old JavaScript, right? But based on what you can see, can you guys tell me what this does? Yeah, so if I ever hit the author URL, it'll call author, which will log author for me. You see? Here's a problem. Is that word defined anywhere in this page? Yeah. It's not defined anywhere. So how would we bring it in? require flat iron. So one thing that's can be annoying sometimes is that like you have to deduce how to require something from npm, right?
Back to like how.
Well, no, they did the old school way. You see that? They use the script source, but we're not about that life anymore, right? But we can fairly guess that if it has something called router, this is probably how it works. So here, let's save it and let's see if it ran. Nope, it's pretty mad. Can't resolve flat iron. Oh, it's not called flat iron. What's it called? Director. I fucked up. Boom. You see how it built now? It built a bunch of shit, but who cares? So now, if I go back to my quote-unquote VC finder, all right, now it's mad. What's it saying? Router is not a function. Okay, so let's take a look. Look, console.log router. Let's see what that looks like. Ah, you see? So it looks like it's an object that includes the thing. So we can say, all right, like director, and then we can say, all right, director.router and director.router here. So the idea is that what we require actually gives us back an object which has the thing that we want, right? So if we do this, it should work. Let's find out. We hit refresh. This is not configured. What the hell is that shit? Is that anywhere? This is not configure? I don't either. What's going on? So let's find out. That looks like it works. Line 285.
It's not configured inside the function.
Good looks. So then the question is, all right, why is that happening? That's kind of interesting.
That would be out of your control, though, right?
Potentially. So this sucks. Oh, I think I know why. These guys are dicks. Hold on a sec. Let me just see if this works first real quick. Router is, oh, sorry. Yeah, Buttercup. Nope, just I configure. It's still not a function. So, damn it. Yeah, they fucked up a little bit. But you know what? No. It's okay because I can still, what I'm gonna do. Am I using, I could just v2? That do it? No. Samantha uses it. Give me a sec, guys. It's fucking annoying. I haven't opened this up in a while, so that's why it's being annoying right now. If I look at app.js, there we go. So it's called routes and router. So I go into router, into routes. How do you do it? Require, and then I do routes.
Require has a dot router.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do the same exact thing here. Just gonna copy this, see if it works. You know what? Let's keep it as basic as we can. We're just gonna have one, which is the author. Get rid of this. Yeah, just do that. Let's see if this works. Fucking, come on, don't do this to me. It's doing it to me, right? So you know what? When in doubt, let's go into Flatiron itself. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you. I was gonna look for it in. We open director. So here, in here, I bet you if I look at the package, I can find out like where it starts. So we can say init index start. No? All right, fuck it. We're gonna go into bin lib. Yep, director.js. So here it is. It's called director/router, which gives us figure. There we go. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? Let's console.log this. What's up? You can do anything you want, man. See, it gives me the window object, and that's why. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say exports.router equals to, oh, that's why. It's an issue with this. So I wonder if I can do this. this doesn't work, we'll just go back to good old function. Yep. All right. Fuck it. So here, we tried for 5 minutes. It didn't work. So now we can just say, let's just ignore this completely. Like, there's no reason to spend more time on this. And instead, we're gonna not use this and just find a different like routing library. There's a billion of them. So we can say, all right, JavaScript hash change library. And if that doesn't work, we'll just do our own. I'm using an older version probably, so that's why it still works. So I bet you they made a change that broke some shit, and that happens all the time. So here's the thing. So here's one called Sammy. So here's how Sammy works. You say, Sammy, you define a route. Okay. So, okay. Here's the example. Let's try to understand, what it is it's doing. We don't care about this. We just say this.get, and then we can run some code on it. All right. Why don't we try to load this right now? So according to Stack Overflow, like this works super well. Is there an NPM module for this? And if not, then we'll just write our own. Implementation. Yeah. I mean, more help, but not the shit I need. All right. Well, fuck you too. It wouldn't be a class if everything worked properly, right? Or coding. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say document dot on hash change equals to. So, anyone tell me what this does?
Every time you change the route.
Yeah, it will.
Do something.
So let's do console.log this dot. Oh, sorry, window, not this. This. So. Hate it when shit like this happens. I'm so mad about this. But anyway, so if I do this, if I do hi, no, document. So now if that didn't work, we can say, oh, it's probably add event listener is what it is. Here, JavaScript hash change. Find out how that works. Yep, window event. Oh, is it window? I thought it was. There's no way. Ah, would you look at that? It's window. Okay. So we can just change this again. First, let's just see if that works. Start off with that. We go into here, we hit refresh. Boom, you see that? So when this changes, well now instead of doing this, we can say, oh, slash.
So that means all the code has to go on there?
Not all the, well, so as you'll see.
Every time it changes, it does something.
Right, so every time this changes, it does something, right? Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Like the point is I can do this, and you see how it went from 3 to 4? Yeah. So when the hash changes, we can trigger a JavaScript to update. So what we can do now is we can define views that say like compose or list, and we can run it when that change occurs. So here's what we can do. Instead of doing, here, let's do location.hash. And here, check this out. If I update this to 1, what does a location.hash get me?
That's a different route.
Gives me 1, right? Or if I say Pablo. So it gets me the name of the route. So could I use that potentially?
Yeah.
How? I was gonna ask you that.
I can.
Yeah, or like we can even do this. We can say if location.hash, which equals to what? Randy, what is it equal to right now? So we can say if it equals to Pablo, then console.log this is a page. Else if location.hash equals to here. Give me no. Randy, console.log, this is a person. So you see that, right?
I'm very interested in how this works with HTML.
Well, wait and see, man. I mean, we got 45 minutes left. So you see what it did? This is a person?
Yeah.
Now, what if we did this? What if we opened up our friend index.html here, and just for kicks, we just added ahref equals to, right? Okay, are you ready? We go. God, where the fuck is it, man? Come back. No, I don't want you, you shithead. There you go. Okay. So watch. I hit page 1. What's happening? It's not paginating. Whoa, whoa, no. What's happening? I hit page 2.
It changes the route.
When it click the link, it changes the route, which triggers JavaScript to run.
That's lit.
So what can you do now? Now do you get it, Randy?
Yeah.
When a route gets hit, what I can do is I can trigger a function to run, and that function can say, all right, let me go ahead and render the page. Let me go ahead and do an AJAX call. Let me go ahead and draw an input field. So your index.js will just have a list of routes that will then call a bunch of different JS files, which will then run the things you need to. And those JS files can call like shared files like ajax.js.
This is very similar to
What's
called the way that you had it, where you put the unique attribute on the body.
Yeah, except
call it that way.
Except now there's only one HTML page. There is no other. You only need an index, and that's it. Everything else is done in a memory through JavaScript. What's up? We still have to add the DOM elements, but now, yeah, through JavaScript. Yeah, the page is gonna be empty. What you can do is, if you want, you can add some styles so that when the page loads, it spins, and then once the first page loads, it'll draw everything in, and like, what's up? Yeah. Like for example, watch. If you go to if you go here, for example, take a look at this like URL. It's empty and it's spinning, and then it goes to login, and then this comes in. Did you see that? Here. Let's take a look at it again. It's empty. There's no hash. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. Once this comes in, that pops in. You see that? So it's actually an empty page, but I just in CSS drew a spinner so that like the user's like, oh, it's loading. LOL. What does it mean to load, right? What it really means is it's loading the JavaScript, and as soon as the hash change kicks in and it does #/login, that says, oh, I must draw this and this. And the only difference between what we're doing now and React is that in React, it'll be even easier to tell it what kind of HTML to draw. But right now, we still have to do our backtick stuff.
Yo, I want to see what loading looks like.
There is no loading.
What do you mean what loading looks
You
like?
said, what does it mean to load? It means the JavaScript is done, it's finished.
Yeah, as in like your bundle.js has been uploaded from your server to the browser.
Right. Right, but
yeah.
So what's the point of putting a loader?
Oh, because it might take because if it's a big file, it might take a couple of seconds.
So you say, okay, show this until this profile is done. That's what I'm saying. I want to see how that looks like. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's just automatic. You just have a spinner, and then once that loads, it will clear the HTML. So like, I mean, okay, I don't want to get too ahead of it, but like the thing is, like you'll see it when you get there. But important thing to note is that our index.js is very similar now, if you right, to our app.js from Express in a way. But there's no more gets or posts. It's just all one. It's just like the hash. Yeah. Yeah, like inside of that if statement, you can run the fuck you want. So watch this. Here, like we're not done. So like, the one thing is, as you guys said, like this is kind of ugly, right? Do you want to get rid of it? Yeah. So here, we can say this. Well, okay, so okay, yeah, we'll start off again. Now I'm getting ahead of myself here. So const route equals to location.hash, okay? Fair? And then we can say, all right, actually no. We can say const location hash equals to that. And then we can say if location hash dot index of. Can you guys tell me what that means?
If
it starts from with like // then we can say this. Const route equals to. Okay, I'll do this. Let and then I can say location hash equals to location hash dot slice what?
So no.
Two.
Yeah.
Get it? We start from the second one. Route const route.
Isn't that one? Doesn't it start 0, 1? Or am I?
Here.
0, 1 is
What's up?
Yeah, the zero is hash.
Yeah. Well, here's how we can find out. Watch this. Watch this, guys. Yeah, guys, watch this. Slash foobar dot slice 1. You gotta start from next one. You guys see that? And it's been proven easy. So let's go back. No, it starts at 0. It's just that like the name of your route starts at 2. Right? Because look, so it's saying this is 0, this is 1. Like, god damn it. This is 0, this is 1. We want to start from 2, hence slice 2. Everyone following, right?
Yeah.
I'm like slightly incredulous that this is making sense, but it's great. I'm happy. But
We're happy.
you're happy, I'm happy. So we can say if route equals to, you know, but should it be Pablo or should it be like maybe that 2 lowercase maybe? Yeah, we'll get there in time, man. So what we can do now is we can say, okay, if route equals to compose, then we can say this is compose, else if route equals to, and of course, like, I want to make this super like functional and shit, but we'll do that one at a time. If route equals to list, then we can say this is a list, right?
Technically, all you did was just make it look better, right?
What's up? Yeah, just a little bit easier to read and all that stuff. I mean, if I really wanted to make this like work well, I would create a new file called routes.js. I would return a function that does all this stuff, and I would pass it an object, and I would loop through the object and try to find it and all that shit, right? But there's no reason to do all that crazy stuff right now because we're just trying to understand how the structure will work. If you guys want to see it after class, I can just do it. So far, so good? Okay. So now, instead of doing this is compose or like this is list, what should we do? Like we should call some functions instead, right? So, well, first let's just test to see if this works, right? The first thing I'm gonna do is I wanted to show this to you guys. Is it okay if I get rid of it? I don't really need it. I'm gonna do that through code as well. And instead, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna say window, okay, location.hash equals to compose. So, like the first time it loads, set the initial route to compose, which will trigger this crap, which will trigger this, so this code will jump in. You see that?
How would it go to list?
Well, so in compose we have to write like a link, click to list or something. You see? Which is fine because it's your app, so you can just choose all that shit, right? No, I'm not, huh? I'm just doing it for splash. Yeah, because the thing is, like, to do Sammy, I would have to read the docs, and maybe I'd fuck up again, and then you have to watch me debug, which is cool, but not worth it right now. You see that? So you see how I went to compose and it says this is compose? Great. So we're in business. Let's get rid of this console.log. Here, you guys want to do a quick like spinner or something on it so it spins? Yeah? So here's what I do. If I need a spinner, I go to the site I love to hate. CodePen spinner example. Just grab one. Who gives a shit? Here. Fuck you, CodePen. Which one you want? I know you want this one, right?
Yeah, I ain't want that. Yo, take the middle bottom one, bro.
All right, I'm gonna do that one.
Yo,
wait,
yeah, I would want top left too.
Yeah, all right. Well, you got two votes for top left. We're doing top left. This one?
It's a normal one.
All right. So here, all we need is a thing. See, who the fuck uses ID? What is wrong with people? Here. All right, here. It's fine.
I use ID in my phone.
Something's wrong with you.
I did it because of you. What do you mean?
What's up? No, that was an href, bro. Yeah. Yo, like you're just. I mean, I'm using ID here too, but yeah. All right, here we got loading, right? So I'm gonna change it to dot loading, and then in my index.html, I can just say app class equals to what? Yeah, I know. Just no, not it's a class, right? And yeah, I just changed the CSS to class. All right, so let's see if that works. Actually, let me first get rid of this guy. Shit, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yo, I don't want to see this shit, man. There it is. All right, boom. Wow, that was really easy. Okay, I had a spinner. Yo, Bob is not impressed, right?
So what do you do after this?
Well, I try to impress Baba.
He wants to see Drake dance as a loader.
Holy shit, man. You're fucking killing him. All right, so here. So now, here's what we can do. Why don't we do something like this? We could say, all right, like import, right? Oh, actually, you know what? I want to show you guys something really cool. You know what? Compose from. Can you tell me what this is supposed to do, or what will this do? So let's create a new file called what? Compose.js. Now, do you see how I didn't put curly brackets around it? Take a look at the old code. In there, I always had curly brackets, right? So that's a good guess. But here's one thing that you can do that's really cool. If you want, you can export a default. So the default keyword means you don't have to put the curly brackets around it. Yep, that's it. This is the default export. So here, instead of doing this, why don't we put it in here? And here, let's call compose.
What will be the difference? Oh, that will be the difference.
That's it. Like you don't got to put the. So if I got rid of the default keyword, now I would have to put that.
What about on the if?
No, that's fine.
There's no real major difference, right?
Well, no, this is a string and this is a name of a function, right? Here, would it be better if I did compose view? Would that make it easier to understand?
That's not what
Oh, sorry.
These are the two ways that you.
Yeah, two ways. Just there's no difference.
Oh, yeah. In this case, there's no difference, but it's worth knowing because you will see that, especially a lot in React. In fact, a lot of the React that I write, where like you always want to just default one thing, like it's 2 extra keys that you don't have to hit, right? And also, if you want, it's like the default is like, okay, this is the main thing that this JS file exports. That's all. So it just lets you do more things, right? Here, let me bring it back so we can kind of see it. I hope this builds. Yeah, so it built. That's good. If I hit refresh now, bro. So I call compose. If route equals to compose, I got my compose.js. All right. Get out of here, man. All right, so let's do this. Boom. You see that? This is compose. Fair? Okay. Because we haven't told it to stop going. So here's a good question. How would I tell it to stop? Nope. Here. What needs to happen to make it stop? We need no. Yeah, there's a class called loading. Watch. If I go into here, if I remove this class, it's gone.
Yeah, so you need to remove the class.
I need to remove that class, right? You guys see that? So that's easy. What's up? Class list now removed. So here, why don't we do this? Why don't we do something like this? We can say, all right, const main div equals to document.query selector what? Fine, you want to call it main?
No, I thought you started with a capital letter.
What's up?
I thought you started with a capital letter.
I did. M.
Why?
Felt like it.
Bro,
It's my life.
just go.
No, I mean he's bringing a good
You're not
question.
saying just go. You asking questions that delete the class for like 30
I
minutes.
asked questions
What?
that pertain to things, bro.
What's up? So watch. What we can do now is this. We can say wrapper.classlist.remove what? Loading, and then let's say alert loaded, right? Yeah, of course. But I'm just trying to.
Why?
Well, because it's a terrible user experience. But you see that? You see how it went away now? Did you guys see that? So the idea is now all the specific functions that page needs will live in there. You see that? So, for example, what's the first thing that you probably want to do when that page loads? You probably want to install like an input field so the user can add something, right? So how about we do this? How about we write something like, okay, const like render input, yeah? And we can say, all right, const HTML equals to, right? Yeah. Yeah, and React just like transforms like this shit, right? And then you can say button type equals to submit, right? And then so here, instead of doing this shit, now you can say, all right, wrapper dot inner HTML equals to, you see? No? Yes, no, maybe so. And then you go back. Let's get rid of this. See? Can you see it? It's right there. It's right there. Yeah, I gotta find out what's going on here. Render. Oh, how about you fucking return some, right? So I didn't return it.
It's there. You see it?
Yeah, it is. It's undefined, bro. You don't see it?
Now we see it.
All right,
What's up?
we're impressed.
Yeah. Look at him. He's like, oh, fuck you. Got into input field. Come on, bro. Yeah. What do you got on your computer? I don't know. I'm just
Right.
Man, you bring that outside of me. Hold on. So, yo, you see this? So the problem with pulling random ass like spinners and shit is that it does horrible things to your code. Like, you see what he's doing here? Who the hell uses position absolute? Tell me. Nobody. All right, here. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. All right. It's actually pretty easy to fix this. I mean, I could. It's just gonna be a waste of time. But are you kidding me? I could build that shit off the top of my head, man. Prove it. All right. After class, stick around. Time me, bro.
It's just transform, right?
Oh, I did.
That album.
All right, I remember that. Yeah. See, I make so many spinners, I don't even like remember them anymore. All right, here we go. Let's try that. Ooh, look at that one. Yeah, you know what? That's our new spinner. and we're back here. Perfect. Okay. Anyways, it's just this. This is the reason. Okay, let me do. Too fast is probably what it is. Anyway. Oh, what if I did that? There it is. You see it spinning.
We'll take your word for it.
Who cares? Let's just move on though, right? So now, here's what we can do. Like, now all we gotta do is add stuff like, what? Input handlers and all that kind of shit, right? So we can say, okay, fine. So why don't we do that? Why don't we say, okay, like const, what's up? Yeah, on button submit. Yeah, it's just CSS. If I added classes here, I just don't feel like it. So that's a good question. So what Jose's asking is like, should you have your divs, like a basic div structure like set up? I usually don't. I'll just do it inside of React. Here, it might be a little annoying, but it's still not that bad. You can just write some HTML here, right? Like, okay, I mean, no, I'm not gonna go into it, but if you go to Skeleton, like they have a framework with like columns and rows and all that shit, right? So you can just add it like directly here. I prefer doing that because then my app div is completely empty always, so I can always just push in any kind of like structure, that I need. So I usually do it that way, and it's whatever. So okay, all set?
Why, can you remind me why you have the underscore?
Good question. So there's really no reason, but are we going to ever export these? No, because they're internal to Compose only, and that's the beauty of it. So Compose, these are functions specific to Compose, so the underscore just means they are private. It's just a convention. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to.
Okay, it's not necessary syntax.
No, it's not necessary syntax. It's like a nice to have kind of thing. Fair? Accessible, like within the scope of that particular file. Yeah. Or closure or like whatever. So anyway, here I can say, all right, document.query selector here. Class equals to JS dash button here. Compose submit, right? Add event listener. What is it? Click. Yeah. And we never have to check if it's null because we know it's fucking there, right? And here we can say, all right, const to do item equals to here class. Okay. I mean, this is just boring shit, but you get the idea. Well, because here's the thing. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to say on button submit. I know it's there. If I can hope so. So I want to, oh, did I fuck up? See, I'm trying to keep you on your toes. Oh, good shit, Baba. All right. Boom. Yeah?
Do it again.
Impressive.
Boom, right?
It's nice.
All right, well, we're not even, check this out. Check this out. All right, hold on. I'm just getting started. Come on, guys. So what we want to do here is like, ideally, like now, if this was a server, you would do like a post request, right? But we're not about that life right now. Instead, I'm going to store it into something called local storage, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create now a new file called storage.js. Okay? All right. You guys ready for this? Okay. What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck that was? All right. Const storage equals to this, okay? And I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you're on replica. I want to put that shit into nothing.
No, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, so you
Doesn't matter, man. I don't think they. Anyway, so we can say const get. What's up? We can say, all right, const items equals to local storage dot get item. Here, let's find out. I'm not even sure if that's the place. Local storage dot get. Yeah. Const key equals to to-do list. So what's happening here? If items equals to null, then return empty. Else, guys, what is this code doing? Wait, someone else. I know you know.
That's what I start.
Good man. But anyone though? Seriously, what's it doing? So let's start off with line 5. What's line 5 doing? What is local storage. Browser storage. Who said that? Random? All right. Well, random is right. Because if you look here, you see that? Like here, I got some random shit here, man. Is highlightable? You know what this is? It's fucking Samantha right here. All right, whatever. What's up? Yeah. This is the crossword stuff that I was doing. Anyway, so watch this. So this is local storage. If I add one, foobar 1, right? If I do local storage get item foobar, what will I get? Is it a number or a string? But did I add a number or a string?
A number.
So you see what happens? It always stores as key value pairs that are both strings. So if I put a number, I won't get it back. But what if I did this? What if instead of doing get item, I did set item, and I did JSON.stringify. What I'm doing here, guys? Now, do you see what I'm doing? What's this? Brittany. Curly brackets is what? Well, you know this. It's an object, right? And I'm putting it as an argument to JSON.stringify. What do you think that does? Converts into string, right? So that's useful because now, if you look at application, you see that? I have my JSON, and if I were to get it again, I get back this, but not as an object, as JSON. But now if I do JSON.parse, now guess what I get back? You see an object I can fuck with. You see? Fair? Making sense? So what I can do is this now. I can say, all right, I have get items, and I can do something like
Cookies? No.
well, hey, let the back guys in the back also get a shot. Come on. Jeez. You guys got the candies for it. Oh, by the way, yo, guys, the candies are not done yet. Yo. Oh, I lied. They're done. Okay. Yo, I bought you guys 60 pieces.
I know.
No, this table they keep hoarding candy. Check eyes back. Check eyes back.
Why would you have
There you go.
Oh, the records right over here.
No worries, man. Thank you.
What you doing, bro?
Well, you guys aren't fucking listening, so.
No, it's not fair.
All right, yo, let's get back to it, guys. Oh my God, buddy, fucking stop. I hate that song.
That song?
Okay, what you do?
Okay, so here's what I did. I wrote a function called get items, and all it does is it just grabs the items, right? So I only care about two things. I want to be able to save an item to my to-do list, and I want to be able to get items from my list. You guys agree? So I'm writing a function called get item, where I pass in like the item that I want, and it'll do it. Actually, you know what? I don't even need this. Let's start off with set item, right? And it can say to do. Fair? That's the first thing. I want to say when I hit the input button, like submit, I want to take that value and I want to save it to a local storage. Agree? Is that fair? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, all right, first I read what's inside of a storage. What? What do you mean to-do list coming from? That's the key. You got it? Yeah, so you can say, all right, first, read what is inside the local storage. Okay? And then we can say, all right, const to-dos equals, oh, here. What does this do? Yeah. checks to see if there are to-dos, right? Okay. No? Well, it's gonna here. So if I console .log initially, is there gonna be to-dos? No, it's gonna be empty, right? If you want, like, you can also do this. Fair? Is that better? Maybe we can do that, right? And then all we do is this. We say to-dos .push. What are we pushing? The thing we want to push in, right? Okay, and then finally we have to say set items. What the hell is set items? So let's create one. Get it? Because if you're going to store it, you have to save it back to your to-do list, right? Otherwise, it's useless. So we got to write that right now where we say, okay, storage. And it's very easy. Local storage dot set item p JSON dot stringify, just like we did in console, right? Like, remember this guy? The same exact thing. The stringify storage, and we're done. Okay, and here, if you want to export this one like function, what we could do is this. Now here's a good. I don't here actually. Let me see if I can do this. Can I do export const? Find out. I think it won't let me. No, it did. Perfect. Done. Actually, no, it didn't. I haven't called it yet. So here I can say, all right, const set item from storage. Now, yep. Thank you. Good looks. You mad, bro? No, it's fine. Does that make sense? So what we did is this.
If you wanted to do the default thing, you'll put export default.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see what we're doing? These are our 3 privates. Like, it doesn't make a difference. It's not going to be used. We only want to expose 2. Set item and what's the other one? Get items probably for our list page, right? And that's it. So set item says, okay, here's the to-do. That's going to be the value of my input field. So I just pass that in. It first reads what's inside the storage right now. It adds one more to it, and then it saves it back, and I'm done. You see? Okay. So in here, instead of doing console.log to-do item, what do I call instead? Someone saying it. Right? Because that's what you want to do. Oh? Yep. That's it, right? And then here, so let me show you that. Let's show you that piece first. So I have this, right? Okay. And I can say, all right, wake up, right? So if I look here now, I can, maybe it didn't work. I don't see shit right here. Let me hit refresh. Do I get anything? No. So maybe it didn't work. So let's find out if it worked or not. So we're calling set item. What's up? Here, how would you guys go about testing this? Yeah, on the console log. Wait, you're saying I spelled something wrong?
I'm trying to see if there's a difference between to do and
I don't think you can export it like that.
Let's find out. Here, if that runs, that means it worked, right? So we go here. That ran, didn't it?
Are you running? Oh, you don't need to run it.
Why is that saying?
I don't know. Let's find out. So that ran. So what do I console.log next? See what?
That's what's not working anyway.
Let's find out. I don't know. I have no idea. I do it again, right? You know what it is, I bet you? That's fucking annoying. I bet you this is just throwing a fit at me. Hold on. Fuck you on your couch, bitch. Go back here. And we go to inspect. I open this guy. Boom. All right, well, no, wait, hold on. Hit refresh. There we have it. The web developer tools just like fucked up. That's it, right?
How did you figure that out?
Well, you tell me. What did you see that I also saw? The storage was saving, but I couldn't see it in the application. That must mean that something was wrong with that window. So I just refreshed. So I just kill the tab, open it again. Boom. Right? Because if it's showing up here, and that means it's saving. So there's no other way. You see what I mean? What's up? It was saving before, but watch. Gotcha. So here. So we go to application now. Boom. Pretty cool, right? But again, here's where it gets interesting. So we have that piece, right? Let's do this. Let's do location dot hash equals to, and let's go to our friend list. What does list do? It should render all of them, right? So what we can do is if we go here, we even have that. So you see how we created a compose? What should we do to someone tell me steps? It's the first thing I do. Create a file. Call it what? Should it return something? Maybe. Export default here. What here? So
Roll up.
Lola, we got to compose here, right? And we have our list.
Export the list.
Yeah, exactly. Because you see this, we import compose, and that's what runs when the route gets hit. You see? So when the list route gets hit, what should happen? It should call something called list, maybe, right? We can call anything we want, but let's call it list. So fair? So how do I export a default again?
Export default.
No. Right. Okay. So here, give me an example of another way it can be written.
We can make it a name function.
Yeah. So we can probably do it, right? Export a default list equals this, right? That should probably also work. Here, one way to find out. What's up?
Or you do like const list and then do the export default list at the bottom.
Yeah, you can also do that too. I mean, I'd rather do it in one line if I could. It'll work both ways, probably. We'll find out right now. What's up?
Yeah, I do realize. I'm just saying we're already using the first way.
No, because of this. You know where I created list? Yeah, outside of this thing. So that's me being an idiot. That's it. That's okay. It's easy to fix. Here, I have, check this out. You guys tell me. I have a file called list.js. It needs to be inside source. What do? Into. That's it. That should. See? And now it's mad because it's saying what? Export default const fu. I guess you can't do a default const, which is why I was doing function probably, which makes sense to me. So I can say, all right. Granny was right. And then in here, I can do what? To see if it works. See. It looks like it built, because I think it did. Here, let's try one more time. Yeah, it looks like it's building.
Well, why does it say what it is right there?
No, that was the previous one. Here, let's try list. This is, that shows up. So that's good. We should probably call it though, right?
What's main?
You tell me.
Oh, main document.
Because we weren't calling that function because we had a console, right? So it was giving me the console. Is what? I wasn't calling list, right? Which is the whole point. So then I can say, all right, let me change this to list. Now I should see the alert, right? So if I hit that, ooh, it's mad. I go here and it's saying syntax error in what? Line 188. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, that's fun. That doesn't help me at all. So let's go. Oh, nope, it's right here. Nope. Let's go down to line 20. Nope. Let's go down to line 81. Nope. Yep, line 66. I'm probably not closing something. What did I not close? All right, so here.
It's right there. What is that? A false house?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, under false. I want too many closing brackets.
No? No, it's fine. You see that? Like this, line 21 goes underneath that. So here, okay, look. Console.log 1. Let's see if that works, first of all. Does that work? Doesn't look like it. Anything? Let's go back here and let's see. Oh, you know what? Fuck. Guess where I saved it to. Fuck Sublime, man. Yeah, it hasn't updated it. So I save it here. I delete this fucker, and then that was nasty. Yeah. Well, it's one that doesn't support it. You see, now it's fine. Now I go here. I hit refresh. Right on my compose. I switch to list. I get 1 as I expected. So now I can go. You guys follow that? Everyone follow that? Okay. Yeah. Just debugging 101, whatever. Then we change this to list, and we're good. I mean, well, I guess like not even close because we have to actually build it. But isn't this a lot cleaner though? Like off the bat, like your index just tells you here are the 4 different like things you can do on this page. Each one of those things will implement like the actual specifics and pull in a shared file that will do things that you want to reuse over and over again.
This is after we rethink everything we were doing. Kind of.
Why?
I don't know. Now I'm just used to doing things from the back end and then doing things from the front end. Whatever.
I don't understand that.
Never mind. I'm just saying it's
No.
Don't let it silence you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to word this.
Yeah. Okay.
The structure is different. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. I mean, do you see why it's so much fucking better though?
Yeah.
Because like that's the point, right? Of this is that this is how like we should have started from the get-go, but we didn't know the word. Hence the catch-22, right? Now we can understand it, so now you can appreciate it more. What up, Jose? No, all the stuff. Look, everything goes inside div ID app. Nope, inside app. Where is app? App is just a random div. You see, so everything goes inside that. So you want to create a grid, just in your like render, like whatever. Here, I'll show you. I'll make a grid right now. Hold up. All right, that's giving you trouble. What up, man?
I don't know if this is a dumb question, but would it work offline? It would, right?
This right now, yeah, right now it doesn't really take anything. So yeah, like this should work offline. In fact, I would show you, but if I kill my online connection, like you can't see anything. But I swear it would work offline because we're not doing any kind of AJAX calls and stuff like that. And that's the other thing. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to make a progressive web app, good shit, like something that works offline. But there are APIs available now which will allow you to store things into local storage so that it works offline. And you can actually even like open a web page without an internet connection if you have went to it before when you had an internet connection. Yeah, that's one of the things that it does. Yeah.
Isn't that where you link it to a window?
What's up?
Right? Would you link it to a window and it saves it on there?
No, you have to use a service worker or app cache. We'll talk about that later. All right. So guys. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So check this out. So here we can say, all right, the point of this one is to draw the list, right? So let's do const render list. Are you guys leaving already? So I got like 3 minutes. Yeah. All right. So here, first I have to do what? Get. I have to export a function called get items, right? So I can say, all right, export const get items equals to, and here's all it does. Return get items. What's up? Yeah.
No, I thought you made it already.
What?
The function.
Get items or get?
Get items.
Well, here's the thing. One is here. Let's call it get to do. Is that better?
Okay.
We can say get items dot run. Right? Then here, are you guys still with me? Do I import set item or do I import something else? Right? Because list doesn't need to set anything. It just needs to get, right? Oh, might be. See that? And then in here, all I do is I can say, all right, return. Could I, let me think about this. Oh, and I want to make it clever, but okay, I won't. I want to make it clever, but I won't. You want to see it?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Oh, I wrote one hell of a one-liner today. I was like, holy shit, man, this is kind of crazy.
This is awesome. Isn't that a path?
No, it's for an array. And in here, get to dos dot map. All right. I mean, you guys want it crazy, man. I mean, you know, careful what you wish for. Oh, solid. That's awesome. Current to do. Right.
I don't know if it's spread operator. When he said math, settle down, brother.
All right, here we go. I mean, have I ever not gone over something? Actually, don't answer that. But like, the idea is that, so what I'm doing here is this spread operator. Hopefully, it works, right? We'll find out soon enough. But the idea is that the spread will say, this get to dos returns what? Can you guys tell me what that returns? What does get to dos give us back? Get items dot to dos, and to dos is an array always, right? So what I'm taking is I'm saying, all right, I'm gonna take the array and I'm gonna map it to a bunch of divs, and the dot 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 means instead of giving me an array, like give me this. Instead of giving me like div and then like an array of to dos slash div, instead give me div and then like to do 1, to do 2, and then slash div. So the spread operator will take this array and spread it into the bigger array.
So you're putting the div inside the array.
I thought that's what like if you don't want to set a certain number of like arguments.
It's the same idea, right? The spread will. So do you guys agree that this will give us back an array?
Yeah.
Why? Because we're going to map over something that returns as an array. The spread will say instead of making the string array string, give me string, the first item, the second item, the third item, the fourth item, the fifth item, and then one more string. Done.
So layman terms, it pulls it out of the array.
Exactly, into like one flat array.
Right. Well, that's returns.
Spread operator for that?
The spread operator pulls out of the array. The map just gives you back an array. Well, here, let's see if it even works. We hit refresh. Worked, didn't it? Here, check it out.
That's pretty cool. Not audio.
Right?
Well, it's useful.
Oh yeah. Okay. Your boy wants a grid so bad. Let's go. Let's go give him a grid. Skeleton. What's up? Oh, you want a Drake loader too? All right. You know what? That's his personal project. He'll get you a Drake loader.
Yes, it seems like everybody's more obsessed with Drake than I am. Y'all love this man. Listen, I like Drake's music. I'm not into metal. Let's stop this obsession.
Wait, no. Who the fuck was saying that, bro? Okay.
Why don't we do it just?
And who cares?
Do this with Drake music.
We dance to this Drake music is
Nah, but you can do it for that.
it's provocative. Let's just say that.
All right, we'll deal with it.
All right, we'll get over that. Don't worry. Oh, I'm gonna show you one more way to do this. One sec. Here's what we're gonna do.
Oh, I want to do
I got some events.
just on the diagonal. Like that.
Yeah, you bet, right? Go by the bed.
Hey, man.
Yo.
All right, guys. Yo, here's your grid, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it look good, but look, bro, you got column, 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 column. I mean, here, man. I'm not gonna add Drake, bro. You see? That's it.
Wait, where is it?
Okay, because so my
Here. Wait, no, it's just a class. We just added a class container, and then row, and then here one column. So it's just divs that you add the class that you need.
Add that into the HTML.
Whoa, you tell me.
See where you add
Yeah, no, I already said this is what I prefer. It becomes a lot easier when we do React with the same idea.
So you have to keep that empty.
Always empty, because then you could put anything you want through the JavaScript. You see what I mean?
Yo.
Yo, you guys want to see one more way of doing the same thing? Yeah, do it again. So watch. The other way you could do the same thing is this. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Just for you.
For our project.
Yeah.
So the way that you, when someone logs in and you get like who is logged in, it's a cool way to store who is logged in.
Yeah.
So that way, whenever you do your routes, to make calls, you can just call that user ID.
Whatever user ID is currently.
Yeah. So whenever somebody logs in, you can set that user ID to the storage. And do whatever you want.
But in knowledge,
You're doing it inside of the
Oh, it's gonna be teaching.
Yeah.
inside of the map.
Mm-hmm.
for
Like that.
knowledge.
It's all right. You know, whatever. You could probably do something like that. You know what I mean? Like you can get fancy if you feel like it. You know what I'm? Missing a period where?
So it knows.
At the
So
top,
now,
yeah.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I think that was better.
How can your
Good looks, my friend.
Because I cloned it and had the user ID.
Oh, and then I gotta also do a dot join. I wonder if this is gonna work. This might get mad at me. No, it didn't. Look at that, yo. Because more than one way of skinning the same cat. Just don't skin cats. And then the other part I wanted to say was, if you really want, instead of doing a dot join, you could also have just done. Oh, that's where it draws the line. That's cool. I mean, I pushed this fucker pretty hard, but anyway, there you have it, guys. LOL. Submit. Done. For the next 2 weeks, and then after that, it's gonna get better because once we do React, you know how we're doing compose and all that. Instead, it's gonna be a React component, and that just bootstraps everything. What's up? I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, right? If you're gonna build a stateful app, like stateful as in it has to like store things like who's logged in, like user accounts, IDs, choices, shit like that. Like this is the way, because you saw how crazy it is the other way, right? So that's the thing. But if you're gonna build something that's just like, oh, a lawyer 101, or like check out my awesome like restaurant menu, this is overkill because you just need a page. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what you're trying to do, right? Yeah, or like a brochure or something, which is just like something for people to read and maybe a slideshow or two and a contact form. You can just use regular HTML. There's no reason to over-engineer it. But if you're going to do something where it's kind of like, oh, based on location, it shows who's nearby, you can log in, that's when this comes into play, because now you can keep state, you can store. Like, the one thing to note is that your page never reloads. So you can like store like variables and just keep track of it until the page stops loading, or until the page like goes away. So you can do like, instead of using local storage, we could have just stored it into a regular object and it would have been fine. But now when you refresh, it's gone.
Is this the way you would make that app that works online?
Yeah, I mean, I would use React and all that stuff. You'll take care of Lisa. But like effectively, like it's this approach, but a bit more like refined. Cool. All right. So I hope this made sense, guys. I hope you can at least see like this is the future, right?
That's recorded?
Yeah.
All right. Can you push it?
Yeah, I'm gonna push it up to get up right now. Okay, it's gonna be on a different branch. All right, same repo, different branch.
Yeah.
Like go step by step, right? Like not the branches.
Yo, is it?
You see it?
Yo,
Well,
is it
that's
possible for you to start do AMAs again?
Yeah, sure.
So what, you want to start working?
No, you just call that branch. Like I know some people are gonna be like, yo, where is it? Just change the branch thing, and it'll be there.
There's chicken in it? I thought it was for random.
I never do, but I guess not. I don't even know.
We just had random food laying around. I was starving the whole time.
Do you want me to pull it?
No, I'm joking. I'm gonna go home.
Probably won't eat it.
I'm fucking starving. I haven't eaten.
Yeah, I've been eating like salads and shit all fucking week. I hate it, man. I'm getting some fried chicken this weekend. In Popeyes.
I thought he was getting like homemade fried chicken.
Yo, KFC sucks though.
No, Kennedy.
Oh.
You must have a Kennedy
Yo,
I said, I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna keep
Yo,
my
you know
brother.
what? You know what? There might be one. There used to be one on 14th Street and First Ave. We're gonna bring the wings.
Chicken wings.
I used to go there. Me and my roommate. Yo, we used to go get like with $20, you get like 4 buckets, right? Eat that shit and then just like on fire. All right, John, be good, man.
Come on, man.
Cheers.
I accidentally ordered.
If people got that, then we are doing awesome today. If like that shit made sense.
Yeah, I have to watch it again to get
Oh, you don't have one. Load it for
the full steps.
That's a classic, bro.
Oh,
We'll talk about it right now.
Talking about the spending thing. Talking about loaders. Remember how you had the four?
Oh yeah.
That was the most important part. The loaders.
Okay, I mean, you just do some reading on it.
No, I know you said
Yeah.
exactly what you said.
But yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. I couldn't write a Webpack config off the top of my head, and I don't give a shit. It's a build tool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You read the docs, and you make it work.
That's.
Mostly,
Important, blah, blah, blah. It's no longer required.
So you can do both if you wanted to, but that's the newer one, and for your code that you write, you should use that. But if you pull in NPM modules, you might still have to use require because it might be too annoying to like figure out what they export. Because like a lot of the NPM modules don't do the export yet. Like React will do it, but like Flatiron, like they didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. So like you can just like if you want, just all your code. I was even this one was easier to use. Just private, like convention. It's not. It's nothing.
Also,
if you gotta export, then you gotta export a model or so I rarely export default classes, but I export default classes.
I'll see you later.
This is all we're doing now.
Is that your chargers?
I have to just check a couple online sources tonight. And
Yeah, just read through, man. Just go through this and try to rebuild it. Like, yo, let me see. I start a flame war on Medium. Let's see if he clapped back. There you go. Oh shit. Let's see if he knocks me near one.
I'll send you the link to the meeting.
I thought this was teamwork, man.
No, they don't.
So it's it.
Good time. I won't be here.
All right.
Huh?
All right. She was nice. I'll go for like a fucking like. Oh, yo, you guys want to see? Yo, you guys want to see something? Want to see something hardcore? Yo, I'm so proud of this. That's why I'm here, bro. All right, so homeboy here. Let me.
You gotta fix that medium post.
Which one?
The one where you can't. Just list of problems.
Oh, he keeps. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Yeah, yo, hit me up on Slack again. Like when you be like, bitch, do it. Check this out. Check this shit out. I have people fucking tuning us out. Insane.
So just rewrite your code. I don't know.
So the arguments reduced by X and Z, those are variables.
What's up?
Reduces though. What's the quickest way to take what's feature? I mean, this branch.
So the consistent of X is the increments of 2 times, and then you multiply it by square.
And you want to drop the whole
That's all one line.
Compose the argument. Those are the different arguments.
You just want to delete it all together, right?
Yeah.
Same branch. Did you push your branch out anywhere? No. Is it pushed out? No. Did you push it?
One, and then another one. And then I get
No, one, another one, this one.
Well, that
Yo,
this one's part of the use though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is part of the
Yo, come over here. We start. Understand this. Crazy. Look at that.
Like that?
The reanonymous function on one line.
Yeah.
That was part of the fat arrow function.
3 in a row.
What is this?
It's a formula.
Right? It's cool, right? Yeah.
These are the arguments.
Okay, so here. No, you definitely push it. Let's see if I can get rid of all. Are you sure that that's the X? So you might get rid of this, right?
So C and X.
Want to get rid of whatever is on his branch.
So then you want
Replace
to
it with
map
whatever's on the master, right?
X and F, which will give you a right string.
Right?
What was it called?
Then the this is the way I'm.
That's
That's just how I'm. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Copy 2. You can have all your shit. All the shit. Yo.
Yo, I can
Public
stand here,
index.
man. Trying to figure this out.
This is your shit. Okay, yeah, fine.
Partly
I just wanna save
applying
it
function
just-
arguments.
So I'm CD into Exchange now.
Yeah.
First thing I'm gonna do is this. Okay.
Yo,
Git remove branch from remote. Alright, get branch.
Pretty much. Man.
That. Alright, initially, and then my on branch, right? So feature, a feed, right?
I've seen like that vine, the
Zoom in, right? And then I can set a vine, like that.
Not you.
Feature, feed.
trying to figure out.
What are you gonna do?
Check out.
You my brother. We make it.
How do you revert back one commit after you already pushed the master attack?
Get stash. There are ways to get status. Oh, all right, that's cool. Unmerge. Fine. Get.
This fucking battery lasts long, bro. That's 7.
Get stash.
You haven't charged this whole class?
Check that out. Get.
That GitHub thing where it seems around the school. They hand this out. Here, Andy. Next time you.
I got one.
Get status. Where you're a master now. Okay, good. You are ahead. Okay, so
I got one.
you got 20. He's got 26 commits on his master. What the fuck you got?
On my desk.
Yeah.
That means I'll be committed. That means it'll work.
You want to see today?
All right. No, here's the thing. So we got rid of his shit. So what we can do is we can just pull. So we want to pull your master, right? That's yeah. All right. So I'm gonna say RM dash RM exchanger
You want to delete the folder?
Yeah, do the whole thing.
Staring me. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna
tell you like how do you go back, how do you stash?
No, it's not that one. That's not the name. Oh, I redirect. Okay, you see the name?
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
You know, just hangs up there.
Yeah, white money hot side. So you
No, I don't. I wish I did.
would expect you to have.
You actually can
Plan out everything.
I don't have space, man.
What do you
You have
have in your
space
notebook?
on your wall for a whiteboard.
No,
You can
I'm
paint
tiny
that.
at the apartment.
The wall is a whiteboard.
Yeah, you can paint that.
You
On
live
your
in
wall.
Manhattan or in Queens?
Story, bro. Been on the same fucking avenue for 20 years, man.
36 Avenue?
What's up?
36 Avenue?
Broadway. I mean, no, sorry, 34th Avenue. You assume 36 was the brown people, man? Come on.
For my boy,
Next to
from
the
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
What's his name?
Tawid Islam?
Oh,
He's your age too.
I probably know like
Next to
15
the
of those
TV.
motherfuckers.
Tawid Islam.
Show me his
Bangladesh
picture.
guy, no.
Tawid's Bangladesh, right? Tawid?
Next to
All right, so I got that now. So let me just get remote dash v. All right. So let me add your upstream, and let me just pull that shit in, okay? And
Then
then
you gotta add his branch, right?
You deleted it.
yeah, I got rid of the branch.
So you gotta recreate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say get remote, add upstream. Look me up. All right. Get remote dash v. Get fetch remote. No, that's I'm an idiot. Upstream. Sorry. Got it. Now get merge upstream master. Good. Get status. Get push. Origin master. Get the fuck out of here. Solid. And then get checkout dash b feature fe. Now you're good to go. You got everything, right? So if I do an npm start, it should
NPM install.
still works. Yo guys, the one thing I was gonna say, I'll tell the whole class about it. Is just like when it comes to like this kid stuff, just keep like a notebook or some shit, or like some notes with a list, and just do it. That's what I do.
Like a cheat sheet? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but make your own, like for your own shit. You know what I mean? Because like that's what I do. I just have a bunch of notes. Is it? Right? Yeah. So hold on. So
It's Randy at Rod.
Randy
At Rod. After his comments. No, yeah, you can have it.
No what?
So you don't have
Where?
You go to
API
API
slash
without
users slash API slash.
I'm not like
no.
You want to reload the page or something. Now you have to log back in again.
I log in. Okay, and I say, all right, Randy at Rod password. I hit submit.
And then you just type in
Just click users,
API.
Click user.
No, it goes to ACL.
You can't just click users.
Yeah, we have to
You can do slash API slash users.
All right.
No, but normally if he uses it, it would say successful. But because
That's
you're
API logged in, but you just logged in right now.
No, I just want to make sure the log is.
Yeah, there you go.
It's working.
Oh, okay.
All good. Good shit. Good
We
shit.
don't have all routes working.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing. I'm
Sign up
sorry.
works.
Well, we
It
finally
doesn't
got.
look bad.
We finally.
It looks good.
It doesn't look bad.
Think
So
so?
you're not to show him.
Nah, this is good, man.
No, wait. We don't.
Nah, I don't want to hear that, man. Pause too much. That's it.
Look, you're always gonna have like that one asshole in the class, right? Come on.
All right, so
Pause on asking.
No, he's a great guy. I'm just saying, you know, like that.
he
Not that
made
he's
it
an
away
asshole,
like
but he's like that one guy who just is better than everybody.
That's why he's my arch nemesis. You gotta go after the throne, man. I call him that. He's my arch
Wait, hold on.
nemesis.
This is a perfect time to quote to J. Cole, bro. Fuck out. Too much pressure. Oh, listen, what was it? A Fire Squad.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Because what? Because you think
Cannabis,
that's
bro.
that's right.
Cannabis life, Jose?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I got you, bro. All right, so here's the thing. So there's this thing called functional programming, okay?
Yes, I heard
And
that.
like everyone's got.
Everyone
Before
got
I get
it.
vulgar, I'm gonna stop sharing. There you go. Oh man, your boy Rich. Now just play it. That's the only line I know. All right, here. I think we're good, right?
In order to succeed in this class,